Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at minake sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin si Modger kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential and I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong ng individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila, kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami, ganun, para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Feeling ko anong nangyari sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team outside the game para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang mag-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gustong-gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gustong-gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at minake sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin si Modger kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential and I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong ng individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila, kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split 2 naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami ganun para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Ang feeling ko anong yanik sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team. Outside the game para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game. Kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami, buong team. Kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang, ma-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gustong-gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gustong-gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin, si Modger. Kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports. Kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential. And I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, team. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong ng individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila o kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split 2 naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami ganun para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Feeling ko anong yanik sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team. Outside the game para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game. Kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami, buong team. Kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang, ma-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jane.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin si Modger, kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential, and I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, I think. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong ng individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila, kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami, ganun, para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
ang feeling ko anong nangyari sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team. Outside the game, para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang mag-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jane.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila And sobrang naiingit ako kasi gusto ko rin lumaro sa gantong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing VALORANT so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin si Modger kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential, and I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, team. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong nung individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila, kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami, ganun, para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Ang feeling ko anong yanik sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team. Outside the game, para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang mag-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT, and yung feeling na gustong-gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila, and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gustong-gusto ko rin lumaro sa gantong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing VALORANT so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin si Modger kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports. Kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential. And I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, I think. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong nung individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila o kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami, ganun, para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Ang feeling ko anong nangyari sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team. Outside the game, para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami, buong team. Kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang, ma-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gustong-gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiinggit ako kasi gustong-gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin, si Modger. Kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports. Kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential. And I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, I think. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong nung individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila o kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami, ganun, para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Ang feeling ko anong nangyari sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team. Outside the game, para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang ma-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin, si Modger. Kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports. Kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential. And I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, I think. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong ng individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila, kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami, ganun, para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
ang feeling ko anong nangyari sa amin is yung samahan namin sa team outside the game para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang ma-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gustong-gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gustong-gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin si Modger kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential and I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, I think. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong nung individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila o kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami ganun para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Feeling ko anong yanik sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team. Outside the game, para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang ma-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gustong-gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gustong-gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin si Modger kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential and I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, I think. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong ng individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila, kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami, ganun, para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Feeling ko anong nangyari sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team outside the game para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang mag-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021 and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league and ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin si Modger kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential and I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, I think. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong ng individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila, kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami ganun para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Ang feeling ko anong nangyari sa amin is yung samahan namin sa team outside the game para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang ma-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Jin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gustong-gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gustong-gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league. And ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin, si Modger. Kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports. Kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential. And I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, team. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong ng individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila o kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami ganun para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
Feeling ko anong nangyari sa amin is yung samahan namin sa team outside the game para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang ma-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Kaya ka iniwan ng boyfriend mo eh.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxi.
Hi, I am Mid.
Hi, I'm Patman.
Hi, I am Senior Carl.
I am Zin.
Hi, I'm 2766 and we are
SR Nacague.
Feels amazing. It feels like I've been reliving my old run on the VCT 2021, and it feels nice to see some new names in the VALORANT Esports scene.
Sobrang exciting niya kasi first time ko sa VCT and yung feeling na gustong-gusto kong mag-compete. Before kasi talagang napapanood ko lang sila and sobrang naiingit ako kasi gustong-gusto ko rin lumaro sa ganitong league and ngayon part na ako ng VCTPH.
The preparations I have made for VCT is we have been grinding scrimmages a lot, and I've been playing Valorant so much lately that it doesn't even burn me out.
Yun, last year, sobrang ganda ng run namin kaso nagkaroon kami ng problema which is yung overplay. So, minake sure namin na ibabalance namin lahat and nag-usap-usap kami na hindi dapat sobra at make sure namin na hindi dapat kulang din. So, hindi dapat kulang, hindi rin sobra. Balance lang talaga.
One player para sa akin, si Modger. Kasi feeling ko nakalaban ko yung younger version ng sarili ko.
One VCT player, I say it's Hydra from Abaddon Esports kasi sobrang bata niya and he got a lot of potential and I know na nag-aaral pa rin siya. But I also know na if you focus playing Valorant, mas malayo yung mararating niya talaga.
JAR next year, I think. Kasi ang lakas ng presensya nila, tapos sobrang strong nung individually nila. So parang pag napatay mo sila o kaya nagulangan mo sila, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. Hopefully makapasok kami ng playoffs, tapos makakuha kami ng titles. Then sana sa susunod na split to naman, sana yun nga, manalo ulit kami ganun para makalipad naman. Matupad yung pangarap.
ang feeling ko anong nangyari sa amin is yung samahan namin as a team. Outside the game, para kami magkakapatid. Kaya na-apply din namin yun sa in-game, kaya sobrang solid ang chemistry namin.
Gusto ko lang magpasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta sa buong team. Sobrang appreciated namin kayo ng buong SR.
Simula sa pamilya ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sobrang thankful kami buong team kasi yung kahit konting suporta lang ma-feel talaga namin. Kaya wala akong iba sasabihin kundi pasasalamat. Thank you so much.
Hindi ba ikaw ang tatay ni Mark?
Hi, I'm Papi Chulo.
I am NDG.
I'm Modger.
I'm Wits. I'm Ja. And we are NAOS. Yung feeling ko coming dito sa VCT is excited. Excited kasi akong bumawi kasi last VCT run namin is hindi kami nag-champion. So ngayon, confident ako na kaya namin mag-champion ngayon. Happy ako na makapag-compete ulit ako this Challengers League kasi bagong roster din eh.
I feel extremely excited kasi first time ko pong makapasok sa main event ng VCTPH. And may chance na pong makalaban yung mga big teams dito sa Pilipinas.
Yung preparations na ginawa namin this coming VCT is nagpa-practice kami and scrims. And since bago kaming roster, pinapractice din namin yung team chemistry. And pinapanood din namin yung mga VODs ng mga kalaban namin para may insights naman kami sa mga ginagawa nila.
After nung sa Sibol, nag-usap-usap po kami and it serve as a wake-up call. So abangan nyo na lang po kami sa mga next namin na laban sa VCT para mapakita po namin kung paano kami nag-improve as a team.
Our team is a good mix of veterans and new bloods, and our team chemistry bond is like no other. And lastly, I can say our preparation for this tournament is beyond what other teams can commit. And this VCTPH 2023, we will fly high.
Ang masasabi ko lang, ang pinagkaiba namin dun sa ibang teams is dito kasi para kaming magkakapamilya dito. So dito parang alam namin kung ano yung weakness ng isa't isa, alam namin kung ano yung strength ng isa't isa kasi open kami to each others. Ayun. So gusto ko lang sana mag-thank you sa mga fans na nagtitiwala sa NAOS and also sa mga fans ko dati pa. And hindi kayo madi-disappoint sa akin and sa amin kasi gagawin namin yung best namin talaga para dalhin yung team na to sa international stage. At saka, don't worry guys, magkakaroon pa tayo ng 8-8 sa future. Yeah.
So guys, please support us this coming VCTPH 2023 and hopefully we meet your expectations and we'll do our best as a team.
Hi, I'm Asta.
Slatom 999.
I'm Exotic.
I'm Hydra.
I'm Rababs.
I'm V-Black. And we are Abaddon.
It feels really good to be back. Last year I played with LFO with the current Oasis players right now, Daximov and Nexi. Now I'm playing with this new team, Abaddon Abyss, and we are called as the fastest rising team in the PH. And I'm really happy that I'm back in the PH scene.
So, the feeling na part na kami ng VCTPH ngayon is very parang nervous kami kasi we are new to the scene.
I'm excited because my team is new and we're going to playoffs and we're doing our best.
We are proud to ourselves because we made it. Yay!
After we won against SRD, we suddenly come to a decision to do a boot camp.
1 week lang yung preparation namin kasi nagpa-process kami sa enrollment namin for school and some of them galing sa bakasyon.
And I am like from the far left side of Cebu City and the boot camp is like the far right side in Lapu-Lapu. And my manager, Anakin, tried to convince my mom really hard so I can't get like to play in the boot camp.
The technical issues that we encountered was internet problems and PC problems. That's why we moved to a bootcamp to V-Black's house. And having a coach as well helps us a lot.
I look up to Ayo because dami niyang tinuro sa akin and at the same time gusto siyang matalo this VCTPH.
Our age is on 16 to 20 and we are against the veterans in this VCT run.
Ganon yung team, di lang ganon nag-give up. Nagta-try hard kami, tas di namin inasahan na mag-Cinderella run kami.
Disclaimer, please wag po gayahin. We are just a bunch of students na nagka-cutting tapos here we are! De, joke lang. Ano talaga kami, mga valedictorian sa school. Lalo na ako, napaka-talino ko. Smart kaya IGL.
Play harder. Don't forget to study hard. And to my friends,
watch me grow. Thank you for supporting us day one until here. Thank you for being there for us, and we will do better in our games.
Hi, I'm Blurred.
Hi, I'm Derek.
Hi, I'm Micro.
Hi, I'm Kevzi.
Hi, my name is Yanagi and we are Action PH.
I just feel excitement more than anything.
I feel so thrilled to compete against with the other teams.
So much has changed throughout the many months I've missed, and I just want to prove that despite being inactive for so long, I still have what it takes to be on top.
Since we are a new team, we mainly focus on our team chemistry.
We focus on our fundamentals, aim, and communication.
Watching VODs together.
Because we only practice less than a month, so we focus more on that, the basics of how we played Valorant. Less than a month kami nag-form. So yung mga struggles namin is yung paano namin na-execute yung mga strategy namin. Tapos yung previous tournament namin is parang medyo pumalpak kami kasi since hindi kami experienced sa pagsasama naming lahat. So parang nagkakamali kami. Pero at least napansin naman agad namin yon before mag-VCT. So na-polish naman namin.
The player I look up or team that I look up to VCT 2023 is Team NAOS PH.
It's more of the NAOS core trio of Wits, Ja, and Papi Chulo because they have been my teammates for a long time, and I'm just excited to be in the same server with them again.
Thank you for your continuous support in Action PH.
We will do our best individually and as a team.
Please continue to support us in VCT 2023. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marky.
Hi, I'm Waldorio.
Hello, I'm Nexi.
Hi, I am Georgie.
Hi, I'm Drax.
Oasis Gaming.
Excited po kasi yung mga upcoming matches namin, feeling ko malalakas yung mga kalaban namin kaya challenging.
Another achievement for myself, saka another opportunity para mapatunayan namin na kaya namin maging number 1 sa Pinas. Preparations for VCT. We have 3 coaches. We scrim 3 times a day, around like 8 hours, and I made lineups for my role.
One main problem that our team encountered would be chemistry as a whole, since we all came from different teams and we were fairly new. How we overcame them was to just keep practicing and play.
Do or Die never seemed this real. 2 linggo na lang ang natitira bago pa tayo mag-playoffs. Sino kaya ang mananatili dito sa labanan natin? Nako, kung ako sa inyo, wag na wag kayong kukurap dahil magsisimula na ang day number 9 ng VCT Philippines.
And there you go, Kuya Yowie. There's no stopping this man. support with the plants, and it's 2 already going down to the ground. Great, look at this from Fletcherino! Taking it, Ethan's gonna go for it, and Maidflick crawls his way to the clutch.
Mag-iisang linggo pa lang tayong hindi nagkikita-kita. Well, ang dami na agad nagbago dito sa VCTPH. Pero bago pa natin simulan ang discussion natin dyan, ipapakilala ko muna kayo sa ating panel for the day. Ako nga pala si Likeable, ang inyong host, at kasama ko ngayon si Fluffy02, pati na rin si Rico. Guys, pag-usapan na natin to agad-agad. Meron tayong mga changes dito, specifically sa mapa. Fluffy, who do you think is gonna be the first team that's gonna be bringing out either the Split or the Lotus?
I think that at least with our current matchup, we have Abaddon Abyss against NAOS Esports. And in other events, we've seen NAOS Esports play the Lotus map. So I think it's one of the maps that, since they have that experience, it'll probably be them out of these two teams that will really try and test it out here on the VCT.
I think talaga yung syempre mga experience na, especially when we look at the previous tournaments, I believe we saw NAOS also is able to dish out and have a lot of plays when it came to the Lotus map. So excited din ako to see Split come around, especially nakita natin na Breeze, it feels like Breeze has been a comfort for some of the teams, especially when we look at, I suppose, the bottom 3 on the standing. So excited ako to see the adjustments.
Medyo delikado nga yung mga nasa baba. Kailangan talaga nilang i-adjust yung mga bagay-bagay at kailangan ilabas na nila yung mga pocket shots nila na may lie in the maps that we're gonna be releasing this week. Pero bago pa ang lahat, panoorin muna natin yung mga highlights from the previous week para naman ma-refresh yung memory natin.
Wants to set up a wall, prevent them from actually crossing on through to the other side. But as the wall breaks, it's Second Love there with a takedown over onto Rabbit. That's Hawks' screen providing coverage here for the Puggers. And they're in position now to try and set it up yet again. Putting that wall on the second floor. They know that Ness is going to be positioned of power. But Eugene Ness providing cover and providing protection. While this happens though, Second Love is on defuse duty. And they get away with it. Nicely done and a nice... But the first storm weathered and the first strike here from Game Lab Alpha stopped by SR Nacague.
Look at the 4 players in Game Lab. It's not just peppered, they're seasoned at this point. That's salted.
With what?
With a bit of thyme, some marjoram, some basil. They're just all, yeah, everything. They're very low at this point. Single Spectre can literally shred this entire team apart. Batman makes contact here with the rest of the team, and yeah,
I love the sight lines from from NAOS here. They just know that APH is just somewhere at B. There it is. Recon Dart pointed out. Nano Swarm. It's been planning on the side, but NDG can't really go for the punish. He has to deal with the one right in front of him already. That's going to be Micro. He's down. Reposition for Papichulo, and it's good. All right. It's all falling all around them, but they've already planted the spike. That's what's important. And this high tide is so dirty. It shows your head, doesn't show the opponents. And NDG picks up the 4K for a photo finish on this round, 4-10. There it is already. The charge up from Jorginho. They're just delaying things even further. Exotic taking it into his own hands, playing by himself on Heaven as he waits for his team to come in. They're going to the meat grinder. Exotic's taking damage. And this is what I was kind of unsure about what's going to be happening, but they still make it work as Asta and Slatham slap away the hands of Oasis, reaching into the A site.
Again, the growing pains might still be apparent, but this is Evolution nonetheless. Exotic cannot find safety or a Xavi with a very, very well-timed stun. Still put a doorstop on the advance of Abaddon, trying not to get anything really with his bonus. And Xavi still wants to push a tempo, wants to push his luck. Thinking about flashing this. Is he going to commit? A little too late. That is going to force out the slow orb on the side of Abaddon. Now they have occupied mid, but nowhere else around the map. Only 2 of them. Or rather 3. Now reduced to 2. Xavi.
Ang ganda nga naman ng panimula dito sa weekend natin. Highlights kung highlights, action kung action, at lahat ng ito ay brought to us by our sponsor. So dahil dyan, maraming salamat sa Riot Games as well as Mineski Philippines for making this event possible for us.
We would also like to thank our official sponsor, Grab Unlimited. Celebrate your great wins with great food and enjoy free delivery today. Subscribe to Grab Unlimited right now for only 9 pesos for your first month.
And last but not the least, this tournament is officially sanctioned by the Games and Amusement Board.
Yan, maraming salamat sa kanila dahil we get to enjoy all of the action here in VALORANT Challengers Philippines in multiple formats as well dahil meron tayong English as well as Tagalog broadcast na pwedeng i-check out ng ating mga viewers dahil meron kayong options dito. Tulad yan ang sinabi ko dito, kung choosy ka, nako, you have choices over here. Meron tayong English broadcast over on Twitch and YouTube as well as a Filipino broadcast on Facebook and on YouTube. Ayan na yung mga links guys, kumpleto na. At dahil dyan, pwede na tayong magsimula dito sa discussion natin. Una sa lahat, so far, so good yung mga games na napapanood natin. Pero Fluffy, ikaw ba, meron ba ditong team na nagsa-stand out for you? Like, meron bang out of the blue surprises, especially since pag tinignan natin yung standings natin, may mga naghihingalo na teams at the bottom right now.
I think out of all the teams in the current pool that we have for the VCT, Sky Empire for me is a bit surprising. I think that I was expecting them to place a bit higher, but we can see here on their standings that they are on 7th currently. And I think this is a very capable team, and they really have the experience to back it up and place up in that top 4 bracket. As it stands, we have Oasis Gaming and NAOS Esports leading the pack, with SR Nacague and Action PH following them in suit. Another team, I guess, that would stand out for me is GameLab Alpha. I think they've been playing phenomenally, especially because they came from that open qualifier.
Well, as for me, as we take a look at the standings, para sa akin, feeling ko si Abaddon Abyss kasi we've seen them play 3 maps constantly. It's just not quite there yet. So feeling ko is just have to have the constant experience here in VCT and see how they play out. Considering the fact that, we're going to be talking about Abaddon Abyss later on. But again, they've managed to take out a couple of maps, 2 teams that are up there in the standings.
Ganun na ngayon nangyayari ngayon. So, delikado talaga to. And as we can see, guys, yung Puggers, meron na tayong loss dito. Which brings us to today's schedule. So, mafo-forfeit yung Puggers for their first match versus NCG, which means we're gonna be moving forward to the second series of the day based sa schedule natin, which is gonna be Abaddon Abyss versus NAOS Esports. Basically, this means that now is the time na pag-usapan natin tong dalawang teams. Etong mga to, so far exciting talaga yung matchup dito. Pero Rico, what are your initial thoughts on NAOS versus Abaddon Abyss? I'm really curious kasi so far ang ganda kasi ng run ng NAOS Abyss. NAOS, pinaghalo ko na, di ba? NAOS Esports. But do you think na Abaddon Abyss actually stands a chance against this monstrosity of a team?
I feel like based on sa performance nila, parang yung maximum nila is always getting 1 point within the series, getting 1 map. Pero feeling ko because of the difference now with Bind and Breeze out, the bans are going to be different. I feel like Lotus is going to have a very heavy ban, especially for teams that don't have the same support as teams like, for example, NAOS or Oasis or experience in that map. So I'm excited to see how it's going to pan out. Are we ever going to be seeing Lotus today? Feeling ko hindi. Yun yung expectations ko today.
Yeah, I have to agree with Rico there. I think the map changes will play a really big part in this series that we're going to see coming up, because when you look at a team like Abaddon Abyss, they have a very high win rate, for example, on Bind, where they win most of the games. But now with that map not in the pool, it's going to be kind of a surprise and low-key a reset for a lot of these teams and how they're going to do their flow of their bans and what they're going to eventually pick for their battlefields.
Perfect na perfect yung sinabi mo dahil yung first team na i-introduce nga natin, wala silang Bind ngayon. So maybe their plan is to go into the Abyss.
Perfect.
And yep, we've got Abaddon, Abyss, we've got Asta, Exotic, Rabab, Slatham, and V Black. Again, we're looking at this team na maraming experience, especially when they're grind when it comes to the grassroots level. But as we have taken a look at their performance here at VCT Challengers, medyo parang they're still trying to reach and break their existing barriers. Kasi we've seen them take off maps against NCG and especially Oasis. I feel like that's a statement to say. It's a big deal. It just shows that kayang-kaya nila. They have what it takes, but they're just exactly not there yet. When it comes to chemistry, there's no question there. I mean, we've seen V Black, Slatham, Exotic. They've been playing together, since forever. And I feel like the challenge is just breaking that barrier, breaking that one map win and make it a 2-map win against NAOS.
NAOS is a team that I think, is going to be a challenge for them going into this series. They're a team that has that experience really built in. And if we look at their roster coming in shortly, it's going to be one of those matchups where it's going to be experience versus just raw firepower. They have that grassroots potential, but can it really play out the way they want to here on the VCT stage?
Ganun na nga yung big question natin dito eh. Sometimes, yung mga grassroots level natin na teams dito, sila yung nagiging complete dark horse pagdating ng tournaments. And nakita naman natin yon on the side of Abaddon Abyss. Meron silang mga shining moments talaga na magugulat na lang tayo na, okay, they have this potential, they have what it takes. But again, the question goes back na, kaya nilang patumbahin ang makakalaban nilang ngayong araw? And I guess, now is the time to find out.
If you are a fan of VCT, these players need no introduction. You have Jam, Modger, NDG, Papi Chulo, and of course, Wit's going to be captaining the team of NAOS Esports. They have a phenomenal run so far. They've beat most of the top teams out there like Sky Empire, SR, Nacague, and Action PH. They need to dethrone Oasis Gaming from the top spot, and this is going to be a very important game for them as they play into Abaddon Abyss. Every point counts, and throughout this league, they've really shown their strengths, and they've shown a lot of flexibility. They have that core roster from the former NAOS Esports roster that we had in the previous stage, as well as the additions of Papi Chulo and Ja and Wits. These three players, I think, provide that experience that the team really needs to be stable, especially that they're in-game, really trying to figure out the plans and really destroying some teams who are not prepared from their raw skill and firepower.
I love how you mentioned destroy, Fluffy, because that's indeed what they have been doing for the entirety of this VCT. I feel like they're the most snowbally team in the current tournament. When they win, you can see their records, diba? Parang 13-4, 13-3. And that's a very telling sign that they can immediately dominate if they get control of the entire map. So this is a huge challenge for, Abaddon Abyss. And I feel like when we initially looked at the beginning of the tournament, we were like, it's now us trying to gel together as an entire squad with this new roster, veterans and new bloods coming together. But it feels like that question has been answered. They're looking pretty solid, and if their chemistry works out even more, what more can they do? They seem really, really strong and consistent.
Ang strong nga naman talaga nila dito. Nung nagsimula tong tournament natin, the big question was, kayang mag-keep up na itong mga new blood sa mga veterans. Pero that's not the question anymore.
Yeah.
The question is, do they have what it takes to succeed and be at the top of this tournament? Tulad nga ni Fluffy kanina, sinabi ni Fluffy kanina rather, na ang gustong gawin dito ng NAOS is to dethrone Oasis Gaming. And I'm sure na yun ang hindi gustong mangyari ni Fluffy right now. But before we actually have this whole conversation, gusto ko ring i-point out na one of the people na nagiging striking talaga from this team was definitely Wits, diba? Ang ganda ng performance niya so far, which is why ang ganda na pag-uusapan din natin siya dito sa head-to-head against Sladom. I know, Fluffy, meron kang thoughts sa head-to-head natin. So why don't we go ahead and discuss these two amazing flex players?
these two are amazing flex players. Latham and Wits really have that stability that they provide to their own teams respectively to really give the information and make a lot of the plays and calls. I think for Wits especially, it's very helpful as he is the captain, and for the most part, he will be able to give the correct info or the overall plan for what they need to do. Aside from that, for Wits, he is a phenomenal player. He's one of the few players in the Philippines who's made it to that international stage, and they really succeeded in trying to do their best, and really against anyone who's not prepared for them, they really can just do that snowball effect that Rico mentioned earlier and just snowball and destroy a lot of teams.
Yeah, I feel like we keep reiterating because it's such an important factor. Wits, what he brings to the table, that kuya factor, that senpai factor, whatever you call it. As Fluffy has mentioned, the international experience really helps alleviate the team's sort of the learning experience as well, and make the correct decisions when it comes to macro and micro decisions when it comes to these games. So I feel like Slatham will have this challenge trying to match Wits, and if ever, I'm curious to see how he will be able to do that.
Ganun na nga yung big question natin for these two players. Pero nonetheless, ang ganda naman, may nabubuo na rin talaga ang chemistry itong Abaddon Abyss. Tulad na na-discuss natin kanina, hindi pa natin alam what to expect from this team. Kaya nakakatuwa na every single game na nananalo rin sila, talagang nasusurpresa tayo dahil nadadala nila eh. They make the firepower of the team itself just really work out for them. Pero ang tanong dyan, lalong-lalo na featured player nga natin dito si Wits, is kaya nilang mag-fire through dito sa, for example, if we head on over to Icebox later on, Riku, makakalusot kaya sila sa cascade neto ni Wits, di ba?
I think yun yung problema. I feel like it's I think like let's just say they're on equal terms when it comes to firepower. But when it comes to strategy and tactics and on-the-fly decision making, feeling ko dun si Abaddon Abyss na kailangan mag-step up when they want to go up against and go toe-to-toe against NAOS in this current series.
I agree with you there. Pero dahil dyan, tingnan na nga natin kung makakakita nga ba tayo ng Harbor o kaya naman may pasorpresa as we may go into a Lotus or a split map as we head on over to our map selection room. Okay guys, eto na, big question of the day. Are we gonna be seeing Lotus or split? Sa mga nanonood dyan, why don't you guys go ahead and comment your guesses? Pero Fluffy, what do you think? I wanna know.
I hope so. I love interesting games, and I think that Lotus is an interesting map. But that being said, because it's very new, it's still a risk for a lot of these teams who haven't tried it. Between the NAOS and Abaddon Abyss, I think Abaddon Abyss might be a bit more hesitant because NAOS has that experience on the map. But on the other hand, you also know that because NAOS has played a game, you can watch them and see how that goes. But as I say that, NAOS is going to be removing Haven, a very big staple map here in the PH circuit. And with that, we're going to move on to Abaddon Abyss's veto.
Yun nga, I feel like sobrang risk. Like even though you've tried it multiple times, and your ranked games, yung Lotus, it's so difficult in a competitive setting. So it's one of those things where does Abaddon Abyss even have leeway to try Lotus at this point of the tournament? We're already at week 4 of the tournament, and they're currently 3rd in the standings. They're kind of tied with PUGGERS and they're kind of tied with Abaddon and Sky Empire right now. So it's a bit risky to open that up, but just as I say that, Haven and Split are banned, and that means NAOS can pick Lotus if they want to.
They can, but with Split being banned, it also shows how different the map pool is now with it in it. Split is one of those maps that, unlike most of the maps that have like a 55-ish% win rate, Split is very, very, very heavily defender-sided. And with teams that know how to practice it, even with the changes that happened on Split, it's not that different. It's more of a quality of life thing, but it doesn't change the overall feel of the map. And when it's in the pool, a lot of teams on the pro level will choose to either ban it or keep it as the decider if they have the advantageous side for it. And with that, NAOS is going to select Fracture as their first map. It's a map that I think rewards their aggression and a lot of the skill that they have from the experience that they've brought defaulting and playing a lot of those slower games.
Yun nga, we're gonna be seeing Fracture as the first map. And now, picking this, I don't think it's all too surprising. Tulad nga ng sinabi mo, yung firepower nandyan na. But another thing that we should look at is the VODs, diba? Meron tayong history dito. Oo, natalo yung NAOS dito sa Oasis Powerhouse. Pero at the same time, nakakita na sila ng game dito sa Abaddon Abyss kung saan natalo rin sila dito sa NCG. So I feel like inanalyze talaga nila yung game nila dito and they're trying to find the right loopholes para maka-break through sa defense or perhaps sa attack netong Abaddon Abyss. But Rico, as I say that, we're gonna be going to Pearl for the second map.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because I feel like NAOS' best map is Pearl. They're so amazing at this map. But when we look at the records din ng Abaddon Abyss, they've won a couple of matches on this particular map, but I do feel like NAOS is just best team when it comes to this map. So it's going to be an extra challenge for them, considering the fact that we've seen NAOS performance on Fractured. Then it was an incredibly close match against Oasis. So ito na. It's one of those like, okay, this is our strength. Let's see if we can match it at least on Pearl.
I'd have to agree with Rico there. I think Pearl is one of NAOS's strongest maps. It's shown in the statistics, but they're also going to choose to ban out Ascent shortly after. I think Pearl, in a way, is kind of like the new Ascent for a lot of teams because Ascent is so old and everyone kind of knows how to play around it already. Pearl is similar in the sense where you just have to control mid. It's very defaulty. There's not many gimmicks on the map like you have on Lotus with the rotating doors or other maps. So it's a map that is really 50-50 and rewards the style of play that NAOS has. And as like I mentioned, they were able to really bring their A game to a lot of teams, including putting a dent into Oasis Gaming.
Ito na nga no? We're not gonna be seeing an Ascent. And I agree with you there na Pearl, para sa akin nga, medyo may similarity sila. Na-mention ko na to in the past na yung mid, sobrang important talaga ng mid control sa mapa na yun. But as I say that, hindi tayo makakakita ng Lotus dito, which I believe would leave us, syempre nalito na ako sa mga mapa natin. Wala tayong Bind, wala tayong Breeze, which leaves us with...
I got this icebox where my heart used to be. Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so Rico, since napakanta ka na, I am a little bit curious kung bakit iniwang bukas ng Abaddon Abyss to, knowing na isa to sa mga best maps ng ng NAOS, di ba?
I feel like I think we mentioned it. I think this was mentioned at the very beginning of the tournament. Icebox has been a very comfy map then for most of the Filipino teams, so it is gonna be that big decider map for themselves. I'm glad to see that Lotus is banned, however, because again, it's a very new map and it might be too risky for Abaddon versus NAOS, who had tournament experience on this map already.
Yeah, I gotta admit, like overall, the map selection that they ended up with seems kind of favored for NAOS. They have a pretty decent Fracture. They're amazing in Pearl, even though it's Abaddon Abyss who selected the map. And for the decider map, which is Icebox, NAOS actually has never lost a game here on VCTPH on that map. So it's a very strong showing for almost basically all the maps for NAOS. On the side of Abaddon Abyss, though, they also have a very good win rate on Icebox, but it's not 100%. So they really have to start winning the Pearl map because they have to be very confident picking it into a team like NAOS that they have the experience. Maybe they took some notes because they have a lot of notes on the team because they played it a lot. But it will be still a very gunfight heavy, individual skilled showing map pool for all these games.
Naintindihan ko yung sa map percentage wins natin dyan, Fluffy. But if we address the elephant in the room, kahit saan mo idaan, right now, the odds are against Abaddon Abyss just because of the experience that NAOS Esports already has. Pero hopefully talaga, tulad nga ng sinabi mo, merong pocket strat na ilalabas tong Abaddon Abyss at ilalabas nila to ngayon kung kailan, yun nga, pag tinignan natin yung standings, they're not doing too well sa mga matches nila. And medyo scary. If I look at the schedule that they have upcoming, let me see real quickly. Okay. Yung mga makakalaban nila is NAOS, may Action PH pa, and then Sky Empire. So, again, Action PH also a very experienced team. Medyo shaky yung journey na makakaharapan ng Abaddon Abyss, but I hope na, tulad nga ng sinabi natin, when they snowball, and it just goes great for them. Hopefully, ganun din yung mangyari sa mga standings nila moving forward. Pero ngayon, drumroll na tayo dahil, predictions time na tayo, guys. And to make things easier for you guys, ako na yung mauuna. Pero I have a feeling na medyo magiging unanimous to, tulad nga na sinabi ko. I'm gonna go with... Oras na ba?
Dun-dun-dun!
Now's the time. Oh! May pa-drama pa lagi na kung ganun yung sinasabi. Ikaw, Fluffy, gusto ko malaman. Oh my gosh! Is Oasis Fluffy gonna predict for the first time?
Of course. I love NAOS Esports. They're going to be my prediction. Locked in, sure ball. I think that either it's going to go 2-0 or 2-1, but I feel like NAOS is just a very strong team in general. It's one of the reasons why they're a top team in the first place. And they really, for all the reasons we mentioned earlier, really make me very confident in saying that NAOS Esports can take the series.
Yeah, I mean, just like NAOS's record in most of these maps in the tournament, snowbally, it's going to be a very snowbally panel onto NAOS Esports. I'm voting for them for this series just because of their, what Fluffy said, like I said, their entire experience, yung players nila, yung improvement sa chemistry nila, it's just so scary. And I feel like, Abaddon gonna extra step up against NAOS.
Kailangan talaga nila mag-step up. But you know what? If Abaddon Abyss wins this series, I'm gonna be happily surprised. I really am. We need these teams to really step up. And kung umabot man tayo sa game number 3 at sila pa ang unang makatalo sa NAOS sa Icebox, o diba? Pasorpresa talaga. Ang ganda talaga pag ganun yung nangyari. Pero Rico, how do you think it's gonna go? Do you think that we're actually gonna reach game number 3?
I mean, it's Abaddon a bit. I feel like we're going to... they reached, map 3, I believe, against PUGGERS, if I'm not mistaken, as well as NCG and Oasis. So it is highly possible we might see map 3. But if there's a map that they can potentially win, I feel like it has to be the first map. It has to be Fracture. They have to do brute force versus brute force if they want to, again, win map 3. Get to map 3. But if they lose Fracture, it is going to be a 2-0 in NAOS's favor.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think that, we have all the questions, but it's going to be up to Abaddon Abyss to really have all the responses to NAOS Esports plays on Fracture. And I think, honestly, I respect the fact that they're picking Pearl. I really think that either they have studied a lot of NAOS's plays from when they've played Pearl in this event or other events, but in general, they should have a game plan going into this, which is why it feels like they're so confident in picking Pearl. I'm kind of worried, though, if they get into the Icebox. They both are very good on Icebox, so it'll literally be a skill thing between both of the teams and how they play around their utils or whatever they choose to bring to the table. But I think that, especially on the side of NAOS Esports, they are a top team. But they have some issues that hopefully they've solved throughout the past week. And if they do, I really think that can really push them to the top.
Delikado talaga on the side of Abaddon Abyss so far. Pero tinitingnan ko ngayon yung composition when it comes to Fracture. Actually, dito sa side ng Abaddon Abyss, they like pulling out the Neon, but instead of the... They like to put out a double initiator composition, then may Neon, and then a Cypher. While on the other hand, dito naman sa NAOS Esports, we've got Wits on that KO, we've got Ja on the Cypher, we've got Mojer on the Raze. So I am curious, Fluffy, how this is gonna come into play. Are you a fan of having the Neon over the Raze in Fracture, or is it the other way around?
Considering that for this matchup, both teams prefer the Cypher over other Sentinels, I actually like the Raze more because all of the Raze utility, especially when you satchel into the side, breaks a lot of these traps and setups. Whereas if you're a Neon, you're literally just forced to run and slide and pray to go in. So there's a high chance that you actually just run into a trap and die. So although I think that Neon has that, I think, more bursty abilities, and especially with the ultimate, for me, it's the team with the Raze, which will really push it, which is why I think NAOS's draft will be slightly better.
Okay, that is something that we will have to really pay attention to as we head on over to our first map. And as I say that, ipapasa ko na kayo sa ating mga casters so we can begin with game number 1.
All right, it's time to take a break from all of the international action and go local here at VCTPH. My name is Astray. With me now is Raph, and we'll be your action-packed duo for this series between Abaddon Abyss and NAOS Esports.
I hope... Honestly, every time I see Pearl in the veto, I just get so scared that you might ask me all these otherworldly questions, Astray, but I am incredibly happy that we are back. And yeah, I mean, everywhere, international, local, the Valorant scene has been incredibly exciting. But now we get to see NAOS versus Abaddon Abyss. And I gotta tell you, man, Abaddon has had a very, very tough schedule recently. If I'm not mistaken, their last matchup was against Oasis. So they're literally going hand in hand and fighting between number 1 and 2, arguably.
Yeah, they're basically facing the blue blur twice, right? The blue of Oasis and then now the blue of NAOS. I don't know where I'm going with this, but the point that I want to focus on here is NAOS I think NAOS for the past couple of times that we've seen in the regular season, they've almost always tried to get Icebox out first, but now I am interested in the way that they've actually brought Fracture out first. Maybe they're trying to make better what they already have. I know that they lost their last map of Fracture against Oasis, but that was technically 13-10, so still pretty close in that particular map of Fracture.
No, Fracture was actually pretty lopsided when it came to the Abaddon Abyss versus the Oasis one. I think it was something like 13-4,
The NAOS versus
13,
Oasis one was the one I was pointing at, yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't paying attention to. You should get used to that.
Yeah.
But in any case...
Gotta correct you multiple times for that.
Jokes aside, jokes aside, we actually had a very interesting discussion point when it came to Exotic and his impact, because he does bring immediate space when he's on that jet, and he's incredibly mobile, so his zone of control becomes incredibly difficult to handle. But if you put him on a Sentinel, then he becomes a little more static. Yes, you have a wall, but I feel like with Abaddon Abyss's style and approach towards the game, I feel like with him on the jet, it would be much more beneficiary.
He was just looking so lost, or if not lost, just not having the same presence as you mentioned when they did go up against Oasis Gaming. And on the other hand, NAOS here actually gonna go for a different iteration. Well, not really the most different. Josh just gonna be from the Cypher going towards the Chamber here, and I do like it. People are starting to reintegrate Chamber a whole lot more in a lot more maps. We're not just seeing him on Haven for the most part. We're seeing him on Fracture too, which is actually really good. And honestly, the only true counter that I saw for Chamber specifically on Fracture, which is supposed to be KO, well, he's just gonna have to deal with that because Abaddon Abyss did pick it up, but we'll have to see again how NAOS kind of wants to incorporate this agent once more.
Absolutely, and I'm still thinking about how the agents are going to interact with each other. And normally when you have a KO, I guess your primary point of contact is you're going to disable the traps of the opposing Sentinel, and therefore you're going to have an easier time of breaking into the site. I think it was actually Mark L who I had a very, very interesting conversation with when we were watching the lock-in games just the other night. What a guy, by the way. Somebody should sign him. But in any case, and going back to all seriousness, I still feel like Abaddon would have benefited so much had we had Exotic on that jet. Again, it's really just that forward tempo that he can really bring. And something that Rico actually brought up earlier is the, from Ate Rico, the Kuya factor of NAOS. It's just the experience, just they have so much flowcharts and protocols for literally every single type of situation. I'm not entirely sure how Abaddon is going to respond to that, whether they go for a much more rigid style or go for something a little more free-spirited, per se.
We'll have to see what happens. It's NAOS or never for Abaddon Abyss, as they have lost 2 of the series that they've played as of recent here, Raf. So with that, let's get on started with this one. We already see NAOS creeping all the way up onto B main, looking for a bit of that contact. Actually, Exotic is going to be on the Cypher here, so those tripwires keeping them a little bit safe. Slatham could be on the first contact here. Papichulo spots him out. They're going to go for the aggressive peek. Rababs does get pulled off, and Mojer, great on the start. The NAOS don't really have to chase this this dragon here. They can just go back and have that numbers advantage with 1 minute left on the clock.
Yeah, Dragon D's numbers towards the A site, as an early rotation on Abaddon Abyss proves to be lethal for them, as this B site is getting overrun, but Slatham proves that he is as sharp as he can be. He gets the trade on NDG, so that's a lot of flashing power on the side of NAOS to be removed from the game, but it's still a 3v4 Asar. This is still fairly difficult, considering Ja still has 4 left. And now the first point, or rather the second point of contact is going to be Mojer finding a 3rd kill. Slatham, who was supposedly the linchpin for that defense, has been removed. And Exotic, oh dear me, all up to V-Black. Ja with the Headhunter. landing square into the chest of Abaddon Abyss. Naos take that first round.
Yeah, solid start for Naos here, just playing the contact when you don't really need to chase it down. They won't. You saw that push on tower. Mojer was definitely waiting for, I believe that was Papichulo, just to double up, help him out, clear where Sladom was. Even if they didn't know Sladom was there, it was good that, again, you do see the coordination right now for Naos kind of brimming here. Speaking of the Team Witch, that was a unfortunate pickoff onto Sladom.
Yeah.
Or not Sladom, excuse me, but Asta, I mean. I will say, again, look at Naos, dude. 5 Bulldogs. They're very much aware, I think, of, or if not, just careful with the rifle buys, I guess.
If there's one thing that I really like about Naos is that no matter what range, they have a plan for it. With the Bulldogs, of course, they're looking to take a little more aggressive fights without relying too much on the utility, and they can also play back the way that they're doing now. But Abaddon, they lurk as a unit, apparently, and they go for a retake, but so far, Naos haven't really engaged on anything. So the timing could be pretty unfortunate for Abaddon here. It does look like they're interested in taking the underpass. Sladom is going to be leading the charge yet again. Nothing but a classic. I wonder what value they can find here as Mojer has already crawled up towards B main. They throw out the stuns as a signal for the attack, but as I say, we still have Mojer here dancing with Asta. Asta will probably throw that stun out and it'll catch him. Papichulo finds Sladom despite already losing one member. And oh dear me, the rifles, they are in effect. Abaddon cannot reliably duel this Asar, but as I say that, Exotic gets another. V-Black with the taken Bulldog from the different side. Has already found a kill for himself. But down to 1v1. You know, despite having classics, Abaddon made this incredibly expensive on the side of Naos. Naos have no choice but to upgrade now. This bonus could potentially be where their economy resets. And it's a pretty fair gun round now.
Technically, that was their gun round already. The Bulldog purchase.
Buy?
Yeah, because usually what you kind of want with the Bulldog is, you know, a big advantage, overwhelming advantage on the second round. So as you come into the next round, you have a nice set of economy. You just
scalability,
maybe repurchase your utility and all that good stuff. But for now, it doesn't seem to be the case. Great!
Wow.
Great Scott! Oh my goodness! He's gone 88 miles per hour and above! Just going to the future and beyond with Mojer's double satchel play. They did not expect that at all here, Raf.
Like you said, once this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious stuff. As he's looking like a DeLorean himself, a luxury player. Already getting that much value and that much of a return in his investment on that Stinger, and V-Black can't really land the shot here. Has to pop the smoke. He still has a full belt of utility, but opts to go for the wide swing instead. I honestly thought that he had a bit of a nest of safety there had he swung to the left a little bit more. But Mojer, very, very early has a showstopper, so he could potentially secure the round with this alone. Exotic and Rababs, no surprise here. They're going for a save call, Astra. That was insane. I actually didn't think that they would aggress on A main so hard and so quickly.
Dude, you can just see the reaction of Sladom. He's like, ah, yes, this is some serious stuff that I am putting myself into. Very bad stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so yeah, I was just going to mention again. Well, we're already past it. The classic play was just really good for Abaddon Abyss, but I mean, now as you mentioned it, Rika mentioned it, there's a lot of tricks up their sleeve, and one of those tricks is just experience. Ja decapitating Exotic here as Babs tries to save the weapon, hold in for just charging it very aggressively. Rababs holds on though.
He does hold on, but at what cost, Astra? It seems like this could be a potential reset point for their economy. And Fluff also did mention that if Abaddon want to square up against Naos, it's not necessarily like a raw firepower discrepancy. It's just how Naos remain unshaken. Because if we look at how Naos won that second round, I feel like it'd be fairly upsetting to a lot of teams to lose so many Bulldogs to Classics. But Naos, they keep their calm. They have a plan that they wanted to execute, and it worked out beautifully. Abaddon Abyss, they had a bit of trouble with that response. And now they look like they're going to be a little more proactive, sending quite a few players towards the side of Arcade. But little do they know is that a heavy execute is happening towards A, and Mojer can't really find anybody yet. Look at the patience. They don't clear out. Actually, no, they do. But they haven't really taken Space Main yet. Is that actually going to hit? Aw, it does hit V-Black. And Slatham also gets sent to the Shadow Realm, Aserai. These gun rounds, man, I'm telling you, they're looking so lopsided. Abaddon can't even get into a position where they can fight. Granted, this was a pretty weak buy. Rabab still gets one, but he might have to replicate the save call. Hello? It's a second for him. If he can get one more, then they are gonna chant that mighty winnable chant, as I said. But Poppy, man, doesn't want to deal with any of that. A convincing 4-0 on the side of NAOS. But as we always say about Fracture, it is pretty attacker-sided.
It is very, very attacker-sided, but I will say, you kind of missed it as well. Because of just how quick it was, it looked like it was going to be bad for it because V-Black already used the Orbital Strike to stop the fall or the pouring out of Waterfall, right? Or on drop, excuse me. But it didn't matter. Wit still found the kill. You see, again, Mojer able to just threaten with the showstopper so that nobody peers up into the site to maybe disrupt the take of the site. And, well, Abaddon Abyss feeling the pressure already, calling that timeout very early on. No threats of maybe an operator play here, so what's going to be the adjustment for them? They're very nearing much of their ultimates here. Maybe they can use that, but, I mean, it doesn't feel like it has any bite against NAOS, at least for the moment.
That's a good point to bring up, Aster. Since Exotic is on that Cypher, again, anybody can pick up an operator, but it just feels like it's suboptimal when it's not in the hands of an agent that has a quick escape, or unless you're playing super passive, right? But without the threat of an operator, NAOS can basically just explode on any of the sites, really. So far, it's been, let's just avoid Exotic, let's pick and prod, let's see how Abaddon react to, once again, all these checks. And now, they play it so systematically. They are basically dissecting this Abaddon defense. I'm honestly surprised Abaddon let this map through, in all honesty.
Well, I'm not sure either. I really honestly thought that they had some sort of adjustment in terms of where they're putting the roles of agents to who. Because again, both of us will probably never stop looking for Exotic on a duelist up until this point. Well,
it's because he's crazy explosive, right?
It's because he's crazy explosive, absolutely. Now that, Exotic's trap has been blasted or just broken through on B main, he has to have some set eyes on it. But, again, now still have so much time that this'll, merit the movement somewhere from Abaddon Abyss. Ooh. Great movement on Vanta Black, but can't use the stem beacon to escape. Trades is good, though. 4 versus 4. Let's hold on. Exotic is going to have to hold somewhere. But there's 2 angles of attack. Where can he really go that he'll have any impact here unless his teammates come around to help him? Well, he can't. He's just going to have to truly wait. That's about it. 4 versus 4.
4 versus 4 indeed. And now Papi has a pretty much uncontested plant on the side here. The defense is leaning towards that defender side spawn, really. They have one threat towards the canteen position, and Rababs, he's gonna flash out of the smoke. Does he find anything? No, not really, but Exotic. He finds Wits. Ja is there on the trade. Ja's good for another one. Ooh. And the third from downtown. But is that all he gets? Is Mojer is there to quickly collapse onto Abaddon Abyss. Now, Aster, I did mention this a few rounds ago. It just feels like Abaddon, they can't get their footing to get into these stable fights. It's always super messy, and it feels like they're always trying to climb uphill against this utility shuffle that NAOS is doing. But speaking of, we do have 3 ultimates on the side of Abaddon, and I would say that they combo into each other pretty decently. Of course, Cypher ult's always going to be Cypher ult. Side of NAOS, they can only really respond with an orbital strike if they choose.
They do want to get very aggressive forward control, though, with this Neon. The triple push out, the pinch coming in through the other side of the map, but NAOS is nowhere there. I think they're aware. Well, I mean, obviously they probably are, as they're playing far back, maybe thinking that it's going to be an insta Rolling Thunder at the start of the round. But now that that's happened, look at where they've kind of circumvented each other. This is going to be good. If they just push out onto A main right now, I don't think there's going to be really much threat from the ultimates here, unless Abaddon Abyss, get closer. But, of course, there's the ultimate. That's going to delay them for a couple of seconds. Just get the plant on Spike, maybe go back to A main, and we'll live to fight for at least a few more seconds here.
They've dropped control here. I feel like Abaddon have been respecting that waterfall play that Naos did like, what, once? And now so they have a lot of arcade control. Their defense is going to be leading towards one side. They don't have alert threat whatsoever, but at the very least, Jaw's going to be a little late to this rotation if the fight starts. Now them, they're going to be delayed yet again with all this utility from the side of NDG, but Exotic, he still gets one. Oh no, indeed. Time is running out. They have a scout on Slatham, or rather a Marshal on the side of Slatham. Bit of a throwback here, but V Black can't get anything done. As Naos, they look forward and it look like they're powering through this Abaddon Abyss eco. They do lose another one, making this a little more acceptable. But that is still no rounds on the board for them, Asarai. That is super worrying.
All the delay tactics or delay abilities that, you know, Naos can use just to stop them from coming in through drop there. How many seconds, close to a minute, did it just burn? Yeah, Exotic does get the trade, but does get the pick, but I mean, that double position on Sands was just built for, again, for quick trades such as that. In any case, like you mentioned, Abaddon Abyss doesn't feel like they have any solid foothold here on Fracture. Again, they are, at least we do see that they do love to go for that aggressive push, just so that just in case they can put this into a, you know, aim battle at the very start of the round. That's gonna make more value to them. Exotic, great pick to start off. Now his utility is at least getting a bit of value here. Yes.
Oh,
but yeah, they'll still have to forfeit the site.
They have to, man. Again, they lose V-Bucks, so the retaking power is going to be that much more difficult. They still have Neural Theft, so if they can find a body here that hasn't completely decayed, then they might just have an inkling of what is the true plan of Naos. And Ja second guesses. Wait a minute, we don't have a Cypher. The trade is there by NDG, however, as Slatham, he is going to burst into this and gets a huge double kill alongside that stun. Now it's only up to Wits here, holding this arcade position down. Looks to play around the ropes, but with his ultimate, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword here. Did ping his last known. He does have a flash. Play anti-flash. They can't even get him, and Slatham gets a big 3K. Oh, I'm not entirely sure if I'm a fan of the KO picks, because I still feel like Fade can do the same thing, but even better. I get it, it's not a hard suppress, but against the Cypher, the Prowlers are going to be the absolute bane of all those tripwires, right? Plus, you can brawl a little better with the cooldown on your E being slightly shorter. You have C's if you want to take tower control, and if you want to combo with any other utility. And me and Black and Blue had a decently long conversation about how KO Flash is probably the worst in the game, considering that the meta for a lot of the defending teams now is to anti-flash all the time. So it seems like it's a go signal for the defenders to peek you when they hear that KO flash, even if it's a pop flash, right? But Exotic has to strut his stuff here. He's lost so much health. He's gonna die anyway. But he did take one to the grave, Asarai, as post-mortem value for him is more than enough. But here's the thing about Naos too. Their trades have been so effective in a way that it's only been Mojer. And that's a role designed to die anyway. Whereas they Abaddon have been losing V-Black, they've been losing Exotic. It's been an interesting first point of contract. And Papi Chulo, wow, despite falling off, still gets Slatham. And Wits with once again a big double to contribute to this Naos round win. It seems that Abaddon can't get any momentum going.
And it's just all, again, ascertained to just how well Naos have been controlling the situation. You're absolutely right. They've been playing so much for the trades here, but look at the positions that they're on. Always playing on the precipice, the edges of the smokes, where they're catching Abaddon Abyss, preparing the utility, preparing to push out, and they disrupt it even before it's already in motion. And Abaddon Abyss, I mean, again, I like how they're going for the pushes here. It's all about the contact, but unfortunately, Naos, they're one step away, always 4-stacking somewhere. It's just Ja lurking here. There's one suppression on outside of Dish, but hold on. Oh, Mojer has the big boom booms, man. He's got the showstopper. Exotic, has he tucked himself way enough into the corner? This is where it gets incredibly messy. What else is on the follow-up here on the menu? NDG also on his Rolling Thunder. There it is. Say goodnight. Exotic, are you out? Are you out? Exotic! He still survives! Exotic is still here. This could be good for Abaddon Abyss if Mojer cannot find him, but he does! He goes down, and that's going to be the 4 versus 5. There was the ultimate from Van to Black, but it was a little bit lackluster. There's the flash from Wits. Spots out 2. Can he convert? 1 more. And Rababs is gone. 2 to remain. Slatham and Asta coming in through drop here, but they're smoked out. And, I mean, they already know where they are. They made a whole bunch of noise here. And it's a 2 versus 5 still.
Oh dear. Despite the big investment on the side of Abaddon, really, still no returns to speak of. Still no, once again, foothold in this matchup. The Siege of Naos, a little too great. The engines, they keep on going. And Abaddon, they can't even find a proper exit here. Slatham is not going to get the proper guess. He does dodge the scan, so he's going to be fine. He can run out. Abaddon don't have enough to go for a full buy around here, Astra, and wow, 1-8. 1-8. You did mention that Abaddon have been, or rather, Naos have been doing such a good job of just throwing a wrench into the plans of Abaddon. They can't set up properly. Even the fights that you would think Abaddon would be advantageous, Naos just has something up their sleeve. And I gotta say, this is looking a little grim.
They're relegated to just the pistols again, except for just the 2 that they've saved up from that previous round. Oof. What is going to... What's the answer here? I mean, it feels like it's been lost. Ja... Okay, no need to peek out, you know, just wait a little bit. Somebody might get a little bit to answer and take through the smoke. He has no need to run through that. Rababs flashes himself. He's trying to run away, but Mojer does not give him any choice. Asta gets booped back. Does get the pick onto Wits. But again, it does not matter because they've opened up the side. They got them 3 kills. They push it onto Bat the Black or V Black and Exotic, who only have the pistols. And V Black here gets spotted by a utility. And all of Naos now knows
right here.
The 2, or at least the 1 is here.
That's right. Who triggered that avalanche, Asarai? Now, we still have Mojer here. He does have a nade in hand. Doesn't even need it to find Exotic, as V-Black is going to get a little bit of a bonus for himself. But with 1 HP, I suggest he runs right now. But he goes for it anyway. He knows that this is a pretty much bonus round on the side of Naos. He will get stunned up. Naos don't necessarily know where he is. And oh dear. It's all smoke and mirrors. As the man, the myth, the legend, Ja takes yet another life. Mojer, though, so hot right now. 16-4-4, Asteroid. Really bringing Naos to, I guess, new heights on this map. This is probably the most dominant Fracture map we've seen from them.
I will say, right, 2 things. This is not the Naos we've seen of before, and that's a good thing. So much better than, I think, the other times that we've seen them in the past couple of weeks, which means that they have been getting just much and much better. And the other thing, this game has just been deafening silence from Naos in the sense that they cut so much noise that Abaddon Abyss don't honestly know where their opponents are going to be pushing at. And most of their kills rely a lot on those satchels, which are... Or not satchels, excuse me, but the tripwires, which are non-existent now because, well, What's has thrown out his ultimate. Yeah, there it is. B-side taken.
B-side taken without any issue. And with that being said, Acer, with all the points that you brought up, it also really hampers the rotation speed on the side of Abaddon. That's also another reason why they can't really get a proper resistance here on Naos. And you can already see that Naos, when they get the site, they're not going to overextend. They're going to play very, very passive angles here. They do have a crossfire setup, but Wits, he could go massive, but Slatham and V-Black, they're tired of it. The numbers advantage, it goes to Abaddon. But we still have 2 players on the side of Naos that they have something to say about this. Poppy lurking in the smokes. Can't get the kill on Poppy. And Ja gets 1. But Abaddon, they hold on, they hold strong. Are they potentially gunning for the 9-3 curse?
Well, let it not be said, one of the strongest, points for Abaddon Abyss here as a team is their ability to trade very efficiently when they're in that position. Just massive. And again, of course, these are incredibly talented players. I mean, everybody is, obviously. People would probably point that out. But Abaddon Abyss, I think, we've already mentioned this in the past as well, they do be cracked.
They do
So
be
we'll
hella
see.
cracked.
Yeah, so maybe they can crack their opponents a little bit more here. As you mentioned, they want to go for that 3-9. Slatham. Okay, aggressive control here. Is Ja going to go again for the swing? Well, that time, it's going to be his mistake. As Slatham is prepared for it. You ain't going to fool me twice. No need for a third time. Just need for a second time. It's all here.
That's right. It's like asking a walrus to look down, but Slatham, not entirely sure why he's still jiggle peeking. This is Rababs is already supporting him. Pretty even trades, despite Naos having a slight disadvantage. The wall is going to save Slatham, but look at the wide swing by NDG. No care in the world. He still has a flashpoint. He does use it. And wow, this is going to be pretty much sensory overload in this 2v2. So much utility still in the pockets of everybody. And Exotic getting maximum value off of that. V-Black is forced to push. Can he get one? That's making the situation a little more winnable on the side of Exotic, but he will get stunned up. The smoke is gone. This has been a fairly interesting exchange here. But a stat that I would like to bring up from Lock-In is that the Rolling Thunders, they haven't been super effective. That's why Exotic's just gonna go for that raw fight. And he gets it. He loses a hat, but he gets around 9-3. Abaddon, they are within reach of at least the curse. But the numbers, oh, that is still a tough hill to climb.
At least this 1v1s, Abaddon and Abyss have a fair shot of winning it for sure, but can never put out of the equation here Slatham's efforts to take hold of A main. Yes, he does fall down to NDG, but what transpires after, as we can see, is his teammates just being able to play off of that at least. Exotic having a chance to go for the flank. You do see NDG knowing about that because teammates did fall on A main, and it's the only place where, again, Exotic can just throw out that neural theft of his. Any case, again, it's all about the swings here, Raph. If you can get that pistol, it follows up into a 5th round, into a 6th. And Abaddon Abyss are an earshot of now, so it all really boils down to this. It's very, I mean, again, I keep repeating that multiple times, but it really is the case right here and now. Ja, though! Yeesh. Alright. Wits is inside. Oh! Okay, they're just playing peekaboo. Will you find me? Will I see you? And well, it's Wits and teammate to find even more as the 4 versus 2 remains here. Looking for a push, maybe, but just backs away as he needs to wait for his teammates to come in. Exotic and teammate finally get a control up to the side, but the smokes are dissipating and they're exposed to the elements. There's the flank and Exotic. He's only got one more position to be coming out of, and that is going to be Canteen. But that spike spotted out in the middle of B. He's going to have to pick it up in this very grueling, dire situation.
Like you said, exposed to the elements, he's pretty much naked, but not afraid as he hears Mojer on that jump spot. But that is going to prompt Papi Chulo to swing off this, and the numbers, they're coming in. If he clutches this, and that would be a dream situation, but Mojer is the stuff made out of nightmares. So here we go. Or rather, the nightmare, you know what I'm trying to say, but this was legitimately scary. That was a pretty shocking find on both ends here. Both KOs had the same idea. Pretty much a smoke is down. The first thing that a KO player is gonna think about, I'm gonna pop flash this. I'm absolutely pop flash this. This has never been done before. Not in the history of Valorant. Never. I'm so smart. But in that case, it did pay out, Asteroid. We see now still going for that Bulldog buy. Not really surprised that they would want to do this, but Slatham looking to really maximize his burst. Can't find value, but he does get that ding onto Ja, giving his teammates space to walk in. Papi Chulo still has the molly, so he could potentially deny the plant here. But with a 3v5, this is looking fairly dangerous on the side of NAOS. Once again, NAOS, an incredibly composed team, can pull something out of their hat. Asta is a suspect on the side of Abaddon as he is so incredibly low. But I love the composure, Aserai. I love how calm they play this. And now the trap has been sprung. Now they might just walk into the dead man zone here. Exotic gets Mojer. And NDG, despite having a Bulldog, only gets one. Still alive for a moment. But Abaddon, they strike back.
Well, the force was very much used up here by Abaddon Abyss. And like you mentioned, they do strike back. I love the ferocity and Slatham, again, who struggles on the Neon. And as you mentioned, as you flip the switch, they just don't back down. I love it. No real need, and that really forces back the economy here for NAOS. It's been shut down. NAOS will have to go for the full save, and this gives Abaddon Abyss a couple of buffer rounds that they can take to, well, maybe close the gap.
Potentially, right? I mean, that's all you need. Just a little bit of time to wind up and get your boots on the ground as Wits with a classic. Can't really do anything against the Spectre here. And maybe the same could be said about NAOS, but Ja has a Headhunter, so that doesn't count. It definitely does not count, but a very, very clean shot nonetheless. A retake could still potentially happen here. There's not really a weak side that they can crawl into, nor any cracks in the defense that they can expand, or rather the post plant. Roger, absolutely fearless. He still has double satchel. It's not gonna matter, as the overwhelming firepower, like you mentioned, just a little too much here. NDG down to a slither of health. What? In the blink of an eye, he gets 2, but he also gets a little bit of dirt on his face, courtesy of Slatham. And that's gonna be 5-10. However, Aserai, this is a high priority round. I feel like if NAOS can win this and break Abaddon's economy, then I think this game is done and dusted.
Smooth replays here. Just looking at the picks that they got in that. Ah, there we go. That's what I was wondering, what the NDG looked like when he got that double kill on the Ghost. Like you said, it's still somewhat far away, but they are inching ever so slightly. Okay, what's the plan here for Abaddon Abyss? Now getting closer up onto drop here. I think that's what the play has been. It's very risky, and it's very Slatham-centric, but if it gives them a few rounds, well, why not? V-Black also very much nearing his ultimate here. Asta's with the Rolling Thunder, but NAOS, they're very aware of it. Look at that, dude. Like, they're pushing onto the side, but no one's there. No one's home. Knock, knock. Yeah, no one here to answer you.
So just keep knocking, man, or break the door open as Abaddon. They make themselves pretty much comfortable in whatever home that they've found themselves in. This A side as NAOS. I love the patience here, but a bit of an intrusive thought on the side of Mojer, wanting to open that door. But Wits is here to sandwich. And every opposition in the A main side of the map has been dealt with. Time is still ticking as Slatham is going to get another one on Papi Chulo. True consummate professional in holding this angle, but oh dear, his fees might not be enough as Wits and Mojer look to cash in on this retake, and that they do. Very, very clean Aserai and Abaddon. They pretty much walked into a trap, man. And now look, Wits has pretty much null command, so retake is gonna be that much more doable on the side of NAOS moving forward.
Let's make a play, then execute.
Well, they wanted to go for those aggressive picks, excuse me, but absolutely right. They got into the trap, come into my spider's web, did NAOS say. But at least here, Abaddon Abyss still have a bit of buys that they can purchase. You can already see that they're gonna... Are they gonna commit to the purchase? Yeah, they are. So Slatham's the only one who's not because of the neon fingers.
Overdrive. Yeah.
That's what you call it.
Yes.
Call it electric fingers or neon fingers.
Well, you're gonna catch it like an electric eel. But who, girl?
You charge it.
Dear. Yeah, Slatham. You didn't get the reference. Astra, shame on you.
But
no shame in going for that dry peek as Papi Chulo with the most immaculate of timings. And he doesn't even die despite getting checked on the face there. Oh no! NAOS, they're running Abaddon over as Exotic. He's the last man alive, the man with a hat, the mysterious stranger. He has yet another cage. He's gonna hear that sound spot, but the HP is not gonna allow him to tag the blind shots. NAOS, they are putting the knife to the throat of Abaddon Abyss. They have no choice now. And look at that ult economy, Aserai. One more for the Rolling Thunder, and everything else but the kitchen sink is available on the side of our defending boys, the NAOS.
And just like Mark Twain, NAOS here giving us an absolutely fantastic yet grim story. And the story of that is Abaddon Abyss is just having not a good time. Just an absolutely difficult time in just keeping the lead, or even just equalizing anything. And like, I mean, we keep mentioning it. Is this the story of this entire first game? Now it just feels like they've got a whole complete read on the Abaddon Abyss style here on Fracture. And maybe that's the reason why, you know, they also wanted to bring out Fracture, not only to, well, make it better themselves on their own end, but because, of course, with all that support staff on the NAOS HQ, they gotta know, you know, the style of Abaddon Abyss here. And Abaddon, they try to change things up. We do see it. It's very different from what we saw when they went up against Oasis, granted, but it's not enough to deal with how NAOS have been approaching this.
Yeah, you could say NAOS have swindled Abaddon Abyss to painting the fence here, as this has turned into a bit of a misadventure on the side of Abaddon. I feel like we're still really hoping for some sort of growth, especially on this map, because I feel like this is their biggest Achilles heel in terms of the draft, right? And Mojer and the rest of the gang, they really just pile onto Abaddon now. Abaddon, they have A control here. It's very, very slight reprieve at least. If Sladum can actually get one here, then this is going to be that much more possible. He's the only Vandal though, so being alone might not be the greatest. It's not even a Vandal, it's a Stinger. Can't even escape. As Rababs has a Spectre, he has to make a play here. He knows that the numbers advantage is not on his side. He still has Spike and a minute left to play. So patience might be the key here. And just maybe if he can isolate one of these players, it could still be within reach. But we remain hopeful, Aserai. We don't know what's going on through the minds of Abaddon. If they've still, I guess, mentally checked out. But, you know, knowing the boys over Abaddon, they're going to fight till the end. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Rababs, I like the timing here. But look, NAOS, what a read. They really don't vacate the site. They know that they can just go for a full retake. And Wits gets cut down.
It's a Stinger.
Oh, but he goes for the water gun instead.
Defenders win.
Rababs, despite getting those 2 kills, Aserai, despite giving us a bit of a preview, just not enough to really push them over the hill, the proverbial hill.
NAOS is just playing on a whole different plane of existence here, as you saw. My goodness, it just felt like NAOS could do no wrong. Yes, Abaddon, it wasn't a perfect game, wasn't 13-0 or anything like that. You know, talking to the chat right here, Abaddon Abyss had some good rounds where they were able to fight back, where they were able to utilize, you know, what strengths they had, and that was about the contact, right? You see, again, Sladum still being very fearless, exotic. When he had the chance to at least put them into a place where his Cypher traps made sense or could work, it did work for them. But it was so far and few in between that it just didn't really amount to Abaddon Abyss sequencing rounds after round after round. So with that being said, NAOS just had an absolutely phenomenal time on Fracture.
I mean, what else can we say, right? We're probably going to be diving into the stats very soon, but I feel like NAOS just outmaneuvered Abaddon here. They played and cut their angles very, very well. If this was boxing, that 1-2 check for them has been a fantastic anchor point. Meanwhile, Abaddon, it feels like they were really going for a lot of these haymakers, but none of them really connected. A performance that I feel like Abaddon is definitely going to be looking at in the video room. Now they have to push this aside, Asrai, because we still have a series, a whole entire series ahead of us.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, look at the stats here on the first kills, 10-8. So it means that Abaddon Abyss still got a bit of, you know, good contact at the very start, but it's the mid rounds. It's what happened afterwards, I think, where they definitely lost. At least, you know, pointing it out there. But other than that, man, what's going to be the adjustment here? Just quick look at the highlights right now.
I mean, yeah, like I said, right, kind of like boxing. Yes, the jabs have been present, the checking tools have been there, but what do they do after? What is the protocol? And it feels like Abaddon haven't really answered that properly. You know, they have like maybe a vague idea of what they have to do, but the execution just not present. It's really not present. But again, we can't really talk about this without mentioning that NAOS, they've only been getting better. They've been aging like a fine, fine wine, Aserai. They've been getting more coordinated. They have been a lot cleaner. There have been times that, yes, it does look somewhat disjointed, but this is definitely an infinitely better look in comparison to week 1.
Absolutely. And just the calmness of just how they're able to mix utility and gunplay is just outstanding in this particular game. Again, that's obviously Valorant, right? But now it just makes it feel or look so satisfying when you're watching it. And of course, the player delivering the win with Grab Unlimited has got to be NAOS's Ja. As he was just hitting shot after shot. Even as a chamber, man, he's getting those cheeky little entry frags, right? Those off lurk kills. And even on a chamber, just goes to show how incredibly talented this player is.
Absolutely. You talk about talent, it's pretty much synonymous with our top teams right now, and they have it in spades. So
Yeah.
Asterai, I feel like we've dissected the game quite a bit. Were there anything else that we noticed? Because I kind of want to hinge off that Chamber point, right? I feel like Chamber has become a bit of a more proactive Sentinel, a little riskier than a lot of, I guess, how some players would prefer. But Ja, man, he is just so accurate with the headhunters, and he's absolutely deadly with the Tour de Force. So why not put him on an agent that really allows him to fully bloom, fully shine? But
Yeah, it
I
doesn't-
feel like...
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, again, it doesn't feel like with Ja playing as a chamber is a crutch for him. It's more of like an extension of what he already has. So I guess we are gonna go for a quick break. When we do come back, it's going to be game number 2 on Pearl. We'll see if Abaddon Abyss got something else left in the tank, or will NAOS Esports continue their streak here on the regular season. Guys, don't go anywhere.
Bad news travels fast, and this set of unfortunate events have been propelled by wicked wings as now they look to trample over Abaddon Abyss. My goodness, what a show for our Fracture map Asterai. But as we move into Pearl, do you expect anything from our boys in purple on the side of Abaddon Abyss, or any adjustments?
Well, Abaddon Abyss at least has proven that they do have a pretty mean Pearl map. You know, when we saw, even though they did lose to Puggers and Oasis in those particular this particular stage, they were able to push them into like 13 to 11s, 13 to 9s. So Abaddon Abyss has at least, you know, got themselves something here. And we will see again Exotic be back on a duelist, whether it's going to be possibly the Reyna or at least more realistically here his Phoenix. I feel like with that and him being at the helm, much more confident seeing Abaddon Abyss take away another map or possibly a map here against NAOS.
Fluffy had a very interesting point in that Pearl is like our new Ascent. Everybody knows how to play around it. And I guess for one of the earlier themes of Ascent was either you take mid or you just don't mind mid at all. And I feel like some teams do kind of translate that over to Pearl. But in any case, yes, we are very excited to see Exotic back on that jetpack as the spearhead of that Abaddon offense. Meanwhile, on the side of NAOS, what developments have they had in this, I guess, this time away from VCTPH, right? But Asteroid, I think this is the perfect time to literally grab a snack. I am getting fairly hungry. So for all you guys out there, celebrate great wins with great food and enjoy free delivery every day. Subscribe to Grab Unlimited now for only 9. Say it, Asterai. Say
for
it.
Only 9 pesos on your first month. There you go.
There you go, guys. So once again, feeling hungry, if you're feeling a little parched, go do it right now. And that's not even like a, you know, I feel like that's a threat on my end. Do it now. Do it now. Get your food, get your drink. You have no reason not to.
Yeah, what's also good about Grab too is you can get medicine grabbed. I've done that before.
Oh, yeah, actually.
Yes.
So
and the reason why I point this out is because I'm having, or still have, my cute rhinitis. It's very cute. Anyways, guys, we do have, of course, 2 languages that you guys can check out here in the VCTPH broadcast. And that is the English that you're watching right now at twitch.tv /Valorant_PH, and of course the Filipino broadcast at facebook.com/Valorant Esports PH. Both of these have VODs and lives at our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@Valorant Esports PH, where you can watch all of the replays in high quality video.
That you do. So once again, if me and Asterai are getting a little too distracting for you, you have your language redirects that were shown very recently, I guess. So with that being said, Aster, I think we are ready to gear up for the game anytime soon now. But do you have any expectations on what NAOS would bring on Pearl? I feel like, me personally, I think they might bring up Harbor again. What we saw in Lock-In, actually, is that Harbor and Viper working in unison, especially in this map, right? And it makes a lot of sense, because Harbor is a bit of a dead agent on default. He doesn't really bring anything to the table when it comes to more static play, because you really need to be active to maximize his kit.
Well, at least for NAOS is, well, not really defense, but on their side or on their perspective, right? We have seen more of the Astra as well as the Viper, but I think you could be right. We could be seeing maybe the adjustment to put the Astra as the Harbor, but we have to see, because if I'm not mistaken, it's Ja that plays the Astra here. So with that being said, is it going to actually work for this particular team? Let me just double check on that if I was right. I was wrong. NDG and Papichul actually play the smokers here. So I don't know, man. Woods is the only one in NAOS that has used this. So if they have to, they gotta have to change up. What do you think? I'm kind of lost in this because I'm thinking a bit too hard on it.
I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to do, right? We do a lot of the overthinking, and we do a lot of the, whoa, you know, he's so smart because he put this trap and it cut off this rotation at 30 seconds, therefore opening this type of retake. And you ask the players like, oh yeah, because it felt like I do that. But again, it's honestly, they know what they're doing, of course, guys. Come on now. Don't be silly. So, in regards to your question earlier, I feel like Wits has had a phenomenal pool of agents this split alone, so it really is a bit of a surprise. Or rather, it's always a surprise to see him on a new agent or whatever comp that NAOS would bring. And I feel like this is the type of thing that's so hard to VOD against. Because at any given time, Wits could honestly play Chamber. Wits could play Harbor. Wits could play Breach. He could honestly go back to being a duelist. And even his Sky could potentially work on this map. We've seen a few teams do that too in Lock-In, where Sky has been the initiator of choice. So with all that data in mind, of course we're gonna think about it quite a bit. There's just the realm of possibilities just infinite. But I do feel like they're probably gonna put NDG on a fairly active role, I guess, with Wits in the backline along with Ja and Papi. I feel like that's been the most effective combo for them. But we can speculate no more, Asarai, as we jump into the agent select.
Yeah, let's get quickly into it. I feel like they won't change anything at all here for now, because the dynamic is already there, right? If you put the Harbor in and try to mix it away from the Astra as well as the Viper, you're losing a lot of the pressure that the Stars give. And usually NDG and Mojer play so well together that I think it just doesn't make sense to put NDG on anything other than the Astra. Yeah, so we are going to see just basically the same thing. And Abaddon Abyss on this end, man, is going to have Exotic with the Phoenix. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Exotic's got, because you saw how well he was able to take fights. It was just that he didn't really have the utility to really take those fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really just became a, hey, I want to go for the full contact. And honestly, it is a tactical shooter, guys. Tactical comes before shooter, obviously. But now they do take that double controller route. They have a Viper and an Astra, so this could be interesting. There's going to be a lot of sensory overload on the side of Abaddon Abyss. They have been a little more proficient with this map, so I think they're going to fare better. They're going to fare, I would hope, increasingly better in comparison to the last map at least. But Ja on that signature Killjoy. Do I prefer a Killjoy on this map or a Cypher? I feel like that's still a debate that a lot of people have, especially on the back end of things. I feel like it's still an even 50-50 in the meta. There's some maps where I feel like Cypher is priority. Killjoy also on other maps. But one thing that Killjoy has is the ease of access. She's always going to bring value to the table no matter who's playing. Because bot and turret, they are just so powerful.
And don't forget, I believe the panel has mentioned that we're already reintroducing, these new maps. But this is also the patch still where Astra has not been nerfed yet. In the live service, she already has. But here, she still has 7 charges to her ultimate. She still has an extra amount of HP on the turret. So all that utility, just add emphasis to how strong of a Sentinel she really is.
Yeah, and maybe we're going to see that, come into action here as we have a solo anchor on the side of, I believe this is Asta. Does have a very interesting turret setup, or rather an alarm bot setup. This wall has been so popular. It does give up a little bit of space, but doesn't really seem to affect this push. Nor will it affect the retake too much, as Exotic could be thinking about flashing through right now. It's very tempting, but look at that, Asrai. Look at the double molly already. Abaddon Abyss, they haven't really shown their fangs, shown their claws. If anything, they're so reserved. But I feel like it's a good thing. They're taking this a little more systematically. Exotic will take a little bit of decay damage and some pistol spam. Now they spring into action here. Exotic can't find anybody in that initial swing. But Asta is here. And everybody is falling on the side of NAOS. The fake is there. Exotic with a quick adjustment. Ja sizzles V-Black. And we have 3 players still alive on the side of Abaddon. But they're so dangerously low that any tap, any love tap from the side of Ja could be fatal. And he's looking for the diffuser, but he's tucked in. And Abaddon, they come alive. Taking the first round on the board. Drawing first blood.
You said it already. I love how Exotic just went in straight through that decay of the Viper smoke. Because of the fact that I feel like NAOS would not have expected that. They probably thought that he would wait a little bit more for it to drop down, go full HP onto the site. But Abaddon Abyss understands that NAOS loves to go for those timing plays. So trying to disrupt any and everything that's as much as they can is so great. And again, Spike was planted a little bit on a precarious spot there. Exotic already pushing in. There's the wall. All right, what do you got for me, Rababs? Now they just forced NAOS back, but at least this wall makes sure that nobody's going to be able to push through that. As NAOS relegated now to push through on mid. Asta might be opening up here on the swing. Oh. There they are. 1, 2, 3 maybe, but Mojer does not give him the opportunity to do so. John's going to be alone here on mid. Going to have to rotate back. The damage be done, but they are slowly clearing up B. Look at this. V Black not really pushing through, respecting the map control. But again, they're going to be able to plant and get good post-plant situations, but positions as we go up into that plant of the spike.
Spike planted.
So they do vacate B link. This is going to give Abaddon Abyss enough time to really posture up, as you mentioned. But CT could be the weak side. The side of his retake. Rababs has a Spectre. So the range is going to play a big part here. As long as nobody gives a sound cue away, they should be safe. But look at this. Both their backs are turned. He gets one. They don't check tower. And Mojer is actually here to tear them apart. And oh my goodness, V-Black still gets that trade. But the numbers, the weapons, they're just too much for NAOS to handle. And my. Abaddon looking much better now, Asterai. Taking so much control. You can see that their motions for this map is a lot more confident. And it's a lot more... what is the word I'm looking for?
Decisive.
I'm now thinking. Decisive, yes. Very intentional. There you go. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, it does very much look like that. A different vibe into this game. Of course, those are just the two starting rounds. We haven't seen NAOS yet on their proper buys, which is going to be coming up into the next.
Here.
All right, where are we here?
Placing sentry.
We are on Pearl.
Well, genius. I meant, like, where are we on Pearl specifically?
Well, wherever Rababs gets tagged from that turret, that is unfortunate. But with Abaddon, I wonder what they are planning on. Whoa! Did you see how far and how high the Trailblazer jumped? I don't know. I was just taken aback from that. Whoa!
Go, Lassie,
that was
go.
crazy. And that was a Trailblazer, definitely. That's Mojer. Ooh, the jump spot.
There's the nade.
We've been reduced to a bunch of onomatopoeias, Asterais. These things have been heating up. Ja does get Asta. That's gonna be still a kill onto NDG. Eco damage has been the name of the game here for Abaddon. Where did Exotic die?
On a site
he was
where
lurking.
Yeah, where Asta also died. So he wanted to handle Ja first, but man, I mean, Ja's not a person you can handle very lightly. And unfortunately, because of those two picks, he's gonna just force Abaddon Abyss to fight this with not really any good foothold on the B side. Because again, even if he can get that first pick, goes back onto B alley, he's gonna run into the embracing arms of Ja's Vandal.
In any case, now we have our first gun round, a very high priority round. Gonna potentially impact the way this game is going to go. Well, not potentially, it's definitely gonna do that. But with NAOS, the way that they've been operating, once again, they look unshaken, Asterai. They are losing quite a few bodies in these earlier exchanges. So Abaddon, their main game plan is to pretty much snowball off of that. That has been the buzzword for the panel. Abaddon's ability to just snowball uncontrollably. And then again, stamina is also one of the biggest questions. If we take this to a map 3, do they have enough left in the tank, right? And NAOS, they pull back, they relax, and they look like they're defaulting towards B.
Slow but surely, though. At least that turret will find the contact first, more than anything else. Right. What's going to be the adjustment here? NDG's getting in closer. Ja still holding on to the lurk for the moment. And this could be good, because if they try to push through these utilities, they are going to be embraced by the Nano Swarm, and Ashley just peeks it. No need for anything, just the dry peek, just the instinct, and that's all that they do need. But Wits opening up. He's not going to be able to get a second one, is he? Yes, he will not. And look at that. Exotic just bursts into the site. And as the dust settles, we're left with a 2 versus 2. 40 seconds. Just going to have to hold the back of Bialy here as he needs to keep his teammate alive. He's going to get mauled. He drops down. 1 versus 1, and Rababs picks it up. Abaddon Abyss do not want to let go of this lead.
They definitely don't, as the economy is going to be in shambles, Asterai. And wow, What a response on the side of Abaddon here. This B side hold has been so problematic. Another thing that we like to talk about, Pearl, or at least me and Black and Blue again have been discussing in our free time. I know, you bunch of nerds, you study the game. Wow. Any case, so the way that Pearl has been going on for a lot of the teams is just, let's have, or honestly, it's basically just a little bit of mid control, have some pressure early on. So, especially on the attacker side, right, they have a very, very safe rotate on either side, really. B towards A towards B. But Abaddon, they're making sure that this fairly attacker-sided map is in their hands, Asra, and good control. We still have Exotic's ultimate here, so if he wants to scout this out with a little bit of safety and just a tad bit of aggression, he can definitely do that. His intuition is potentially correct, just slightly off the marker, as we do have bodies towards A main. Look how far back Asta is. Doesn't want to contest this at all. He's going to be playing from hut. And with this going on, Asta, look, it's the safe side rotation that I was talking about. As long as you have mid pressure, you are basically free to do whatever you want.
Wall also making Abaddon Abyss here at least a little bit aware that there could be that B-link push. The smoke,
There.
keeping them at least guessing of what is there, but there is a crossfire here. Will they be able to actually spot where V Black is playing? This is going to be very crucial. Oh no, the dog did not scout it out. There's going to be the eye, or rather, excuse me, the haunt. V Black playing inside his own smoke for a couple of seconds here. 30 seconds. Now it's now or never. 25 seconds to rotate all the way to A. Ooh, it's all going to fall down into Ja, though. If he doesn't get the pick, that's going to be very brutal. Asta, though, might not know. Activates utility. Ja. Oh, does get the pick. 13 seconds. They're going to have to run for their lives. Go, go, go.
They don't have time, I don't think.
They do not. Oh, it takes a full 30. Wait.
Oh, barely.
Just barely. Oh my goodness, and he picks it up for a 5 versus 3 as the round continues. NDG spots Rababs out of nowhere, and Abaddon Abyss, whatever control they had, has now just been a fair and fake dream, as it's all left onto Exotic 4 versus 1. He's got the ultimate. Is he feeling himself? Or, excuse me, is he feeling his aim right now? As he tries to maybe salvage a situation here, but it's gonna be hard. Look at Wits already.
Yeah, again, the anticipation and the experience on the side of NAOS is really leagues above Abaddon right now, and that is just experience. Again, NAOS have been, and the players of NAOS have been around forever. You know, the core of NAOS have been around forever. Even before when we were doing this, Asarai, they were already still competing. It's the craziest thing to me. God, now that I think about it, wow, it's been a long time.
Are you calling them old? Dang.
Yes. I mean, dude, no. I said experience.
Oh, okay. I see.
I did say yes, they are old, but they're also experienced. You know what I mean? I'm just going to say that outright.
Experience through the years.
I can't really underestimate the, again, one of our more experienced groups, as this execution is just going to happen. I love the value for the classics again. They get that -2, as we always say. When you get 2 on an eco, you're good to go. It's pretty much whatever at this point, as Asta trying to be sneaky, but that's not my turret. He does pick up a gun though, Asta, so he could save this, or maybe he could burn out one of the ults here if the situation does get too dicey for now. Man,
if he could, that's gonna be huge.
Yeah, and it's only been 6 rounds in, right? As long as he doesn't expend his own ult, this is still a pretty decent situation on the side of Abaddon. Papi Chulo playing dugout here, could swing out at any moment. Any moment now. There it is.
No need to peek. No need to use utility. All you gotta do is just, as you mentioned, play far back, get those off-angle cross marks, and just get the pick off. And this is where I feel like Abaddon has to start sweating a little bit. They're starting to lose the momentum right now. I mean, again, if you're an Abaddon fan, great starting 3 rounds, but now it's just starting to build steam up, and that's never what you want to put him on. Look at Sladam, dude. He's struggling at 0 kills here. They've just been put in positions where, again, it feels like Abaddon Abyss can't really find the marker as to how they want to proceed in the mid rounds.
Yeah, the mid-round decision-making has been pretty even on Pearl, to be honest with you, Asteroid. As we look at the scoreboard, it is 3-3, but that has been a brawl to achieve those 3 rounds on each side, really. Now, Abaddon, they have a fairly spread out defense here. We have Exotic trying to get as much front-facing value. And Rababs is here. I think they both have their abilities up, or rather their ultimates up. So that's going to be a lot of extra lives. Abaddon, though, don't know that something's switching towards B-Link. That Trailblazer and the gunshots are going to prompt the earlier rotation here on the side of, I believe this is Slatham. He's playing a little back, scared that somebody might try to cut him off. He goes for the strong side instead. Uh-oh, but a firing squad. Don't peek out. Oh my goodness, and he had his back turned, but he still manages to get it. V-Black survives everything. He even gets 2 and gets a third on Wits. Completely blind. Even without that flash, he had to hit that wall block and a big 4K on the side of V-Black. Ja all alone. He has to find some sort of bonus, some sort of consolation prize for this as he sprints back. But Exotic lying in wait. He has his Phantom out. And a bullet between the eyes of Ja. Once again, they wrestle the lead away from NAOS.
Everybody had their backs turned on these two. Honestly, thought that was almost a very grim situation for Vanta Black and teammates, but somehow managed to hold on, even through the flash. Look at this. Instinct just to fire through right in front of you. Yes, the shot off onto Wits. And at that point, Poppy's just lost all modicum of composure on B-Long as he's like, yeah, I gotta have to just run all the way through here, pick up the spike, and try to salvage what was already lost. So Abaddon Abyss, very great round to keep the lead.
Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. You just get destroyed on aim fights. And that is not a knock on NAOS, definitely, but something that Abaddon was so happy to capitalize! As Mojer, man, he has been so confident with these Raze ults, and he's been so effective, but Asta gets the response immediately. That's 2 ults burnt on the side of NAOS, but what do they get in return? It's absolutely getting shredded by Abaddon Abyss. Wait a minute, we've seen this movie before, Asrai. Ja trying to make something happen from B-Link, but the sequel has other plans as Rababs. He gets a returning character here. Ja still hasn't really planted it down. He's wary of a very close push. And with that safety in hand, he does have a moment to plant. He fakes it yet another time. And he is going to try and put a ruse, a veil over the eyes of Abaddon. Little does he know, Exotic is already taking long control. So if he backpedals too much,
30 seconds
sways outside of the box, he might just find trouble. Is this what I'm talking about? It absolutely is, Asterai. He had to make a play there. Couldn't let the numbers collapse on him. So now Abaddon, they have yet another 2-round swing. And I can't believe now still haven't ecoed. They're still on a strong buy here.
It's the paradox of the loss bonus, win bonus. You know, when you lose enough, obviously you get that max loss bonus, of money. And then when you start winning rounds and you still have the loss bonus, that kind of adds up onto each other. So you keep buying up for about 5-6 rounds, whether you win or lose. It's kind of crazy.
True. And I like this timeout, like I mentioned, just under my breath earlier. They're taking control of the situation. They don't want Abaddon to create too much of a lead, so they're going to take a breath. They're going to reassess the situation. And just, once again, go through all the options. Go back to the drawing board. What are the basics that they're missing out? What are the things that have been so elusive on the side of Abaddon Abyss? They still have ults, right? They still have so many ults that they could throw out. If anything, this is going to pressure NAOS to do something. But as we mentioned that, we are going to be seeing them go for yet another default towards B here. Doesn't look like it's going to be a heavy hit. Actually, no. It's a mid-default.
No, they're just scrambling, at least for the moment. Excuse me. So, what is going to be the adjustment right here? Nice little spread. No need to hold on to B main. Just have your utilities there. Haunt does give a bit of hindsight as to where the rest of NAOS will be. as the noise is again being made through A main. And usually when it's an A main noise, there's also going to be some players of NAOS here. That's why you're seeing Vanta Black and Asta just wait for that contact here. Nice jump. Not actually the leap. Doesn't get the slow on to Slatham.
Huh?
But does get that information though.
What's that, Asarai? Noise equates to players in Valorant? Wow. You are amazing, but VBlack, jokes aside, and remarks aside, does all that push, and it's really dissuading NAOS from taking B Link. They've tried so hard to get some sort of action going there, but they have just been grinded down to bits by Abaddon. A hallway of death. Kind of like Old Boy. If you've seen that movie. Really good movie.
Haven't yet, but what I am looking at here, I will, probably in the future, with you and Popcorn.
You want to find it?
Yeah, you know, it's like bro time.
I hate Popcorn.
It's Colonel,
30 seconds
and
left.
sticks everywhere.
I love the aggression by Mojo here, Aster, right? He does take that, at least half of that call here. Is he going to push through the wall? Yes. The answer is yes. And now without VBlack, they're not going to have the stars, the utility to really push anybody off from a safe distance.
They have the
do
wall,
use
though.
that pit. Look at all this ultimates. Yet another investment. They know that they can do it. Exotic still has one.
Oh!
He double backed on that, interestingly enough. But they stand their ground. But now, the wings, they seem a little clipped. Exotic still has that extra life here, but this post plant looks so dangerous. They have a flash available. They could mask the diffuse sound with this. But they don't. Wits finds Asta. Look at that. Uh-oh.
Wait, there's time. No, there is not. None at all. You did mention how, you know, losing Vanta Black, or excuse me, V Black was a big loss here for Abaddon Abyss, but Rababs, I was looking at it, his utility still had that wall up, so as long as they can get that backside control, he'll have placed the wall properly, put those 4 segments right in front of the rest of the players of NAOS, and basically make it hell for them to play this retake, especially if they don't have any mollies or nades to throw out anymore.
Indeed. I love the 13-0 there. Didn't really happen, but I love the usage of that wall, Asteroid. Again, a lot of our peers and our colleagues know me as a Sage hater, and I only hate the Sages in my pubs. If only they were good as Rababs or literally any other pro player, then I would love to have you on my team. But most of the time, they're not. So, here we are. We refocus our lenses on the pro match that we're looking at. Yes, absolutely. Yet another pretty stiff B-hold here on the side of Abaddon. Now they're just very, very interested in to try to solve this puzzle. It has been very vexing and very, very evasive. Mojo does get that find on Slatham, but does it really find any meaningful map control? It will pressure Art just a little bit more. Exotic, he's waiting for the timing here. And that Gimp bot, not gonna do much. And now they set their eyes towards B main yet again, or rather B Link yet again.
They spotted one. Oh, it's playing the hearts of that gravity well. Asta, though, just can't hit the second shot to save his life. And he's going to have to back away here. No more utilities to stop him from pushing in. Exotic playing with the curveball. But now it's just already away. Oh, this is not looking too hot for them. Delay tactics with the molly. Are they going to push through? That's the question. Rababs takes the head of Papichulo. And now they're starting to equalize. They're slowly inching forward, especially with that wall. No shots through. And they're just going to the back of B. That's so smart.
Ooh. The oohs and ahs from me and Asterai here. NDG has no idea that they've taken back hall control here, but Wits, it's just a little too sharp for Rababs to effectively duel here. Exotic has a war on 2 fronts, and he's going to be completely blind. So he's going to eliminate just one angle, but Wits is ready and waiting with a big 4K. And very, very timely. A 4th round on the board for NAOS. Maybe this is where they solve that puzzle, Asterai. Maybe, just maybe.
Maybe? Although I will say it takes a lot of effort to do so from how NAOS is approaching this. It's very contact heavy. It relies on them being able to make flinch the Abaddon Abyss defense. And by that, you see where I believe it was just the double swing from NAOS onto B-Long. V-Black was
just not having it gets the pick onto Ja. And I think Abaddon Abyss are starting to at least understand the timing here. Of NAOS. And with that, of course, even though it's still the 2-round lead, they don't want to lose anything else. Wants to go for that timeout. Get the discussion rolling first. And well, it's a really merited one because again, they're so nearing figuring things out that they might be able to end this first half 8-4.
One thing that is on my mind is that if NAOS is just basically conditioning Abaddon to be hyper-responsive of the B hits, and they could potentially set up a more potent mix-up later on. But so far, Abaddon is very cautious of that. They're still relegating early bodies towards A, and they have Slatham always on that rotator, which is fantastic. He's been really holding his own when it comes to that. Statistically, it might not show, but the value and impact has definitely been felt. But right now, Abaddon is on yet another eco. What can they do? They have early aggression on the side of Rababs just to throw that they're threatening with the marshals here. Has to fall back though, but he looks like he wants to double dip Asser. I'm not sure if this is the most reliable strategy. He does have a wall available, but I think he might just want to save it for a more reliable round, I would assume. But V-Black, what damage can he do with this? I don't think NAOS have an idea that this is a bit of a double stack. It could be a bait and switch.
Yeah, I do love how they're holding this particular angle, though. If you're going to wide swing right in front of them, this double stack is absolutely ferocious. But now they're so aware. Look at how close they are to each other.
Oh, no.
Spots out two. And both of them drop down to Mojer, who picks the collateral. No Ja with the collateral this time. It's going to be Mojer on that end. Exotic, he's going to be picking himself up a rifle, and that's going to be a step in the right direction. He has HP, he has shields, he has utility, and he still has two of his teammates still alive with him to try to get this retake rolling.
Indeed, they have a Vandal on the side of Exotic. They choose to attempt to take this round away. The Stinger, despite being a little more expensive, is still that much more valuable still. As NDG, he does get the trade out, but he gets aim punch. Exotic has a little bit of time to heal himself up. Oh no, this corner's a little too deep for NAOS to contest, but he gets stunned up. He gets hit by the gravity well. Everything really. And there's not going to be enough time for them to really do anything. They do some damage on that economy. Wow, narrow win there on the side of NAOS. They lose so many members. And so much time. But wow, what a half-ass, right?
That was such a smart call by NAOS on B long. Like just hugging the right side of B there. Even though there could have been the threat of Exotic at the back of B with the curveball, which is always really detrimental if you're in that specific spot, excuse me. They somehow managed to get to it because of that. Mojer already has his showstopper once again. This could be really bad for them. Abaddon Abyss having none of it though. It's very close. Drop on the spike. Ooh. Excuse me, the smoke rather. Papichulo, that slow is gonna cost them their lives.
Wow.
It's supposed to be 2, but it's gonna be 3. That's the other one down. And Asta, in less than 20 seconds, has lost every single teammate, has his positioning exposed, and has to go for a 1v5. Just pile upon pile of problems on them. And Mojer, he just knew exactly where he was.
You know, like I said, right, maybe they're conditioning them that B main was going to be a heavy hit, and that prompted Abaddon to really just put all their eggs in that proverbial basket. But man, Papi Chulo's so good at making omelets. It's crazy. That was a solo hold to us, right? No assistance needed. They had quite a few players trying to flood in from B Link, but by the time they got there, everybody was pretty much eliminated. As it is going to be a pretty even half still, Astra. I can't ask for a more perfect game 2, right? I mean, 6-6. Definitely a classic in the making. NAOS, if they can run away, or rather if they can take the pistol, then they could just run up the lead. Just one of the few possibilities here. It does look like they're going to use a very, very aggressive way to scout out the intel here with that early flash. They don't find anything, but they don't have any resistance towards mid, barring that turret to cover B Link. Art is going to be relatively open. And they are going to send Wits to play Rotator.
Asta making sure again that somebody's going to be pushing through on B here. Just spotted his counterpart onto Job, but yeah, there really is no need to just, you know, reposition themselves there. The flank spotted, or not the flank rather, but the hold on A short spotted here. This is really good. They can funnel the attackers only through Art, and because nobody can push A main, it's just one angle of attack. There's going to be 2 points of pressure here from the defenders. Exotic flashes. Well, not really going to be too good, but it does give them access onto the A site. Although, look at that. Wits finds a pick. He's not done. Goes for the fight. Mojo's here to help him out, and it's all down to Asta coming in through Art once again. And will he be a master artsman, or will he be just a novice? We'll see, as it's still a 1 versus 3. 2 players are low.
30 seconds
Look
left.
at how far they're just gone back. They're expecting Asta to maybe take this spike somewhere else. And Asta, he's playing the most complicated game of peekaboo, hide and seek, I see you, and he can't see anybody. With 20 seconds on the clock, he's going to have to plant the spike here and now.
Oh, I like this decision. Maybe he's going to run into dugout here. Mojo's really not risking the numbers advantage as it becomes more precarious. Asta, though, he exposes himself toward main. And that was my biggest concern, if Ja was going to just execute him right then and there. That he does. Like you said, man, this was a canvas. But unfortunately for him, he didn't have enough strokes to really cover up the master plan of NAOS. The bigger picture, perhaps. And we are going to see a fairly conservative buy in Abaddon Abyss. Even though it's been increasingly popular to just kind of force out stingers. I mean, they did get the plant down, so they had that extra bit of money, but they go for a very conservative buy here. They want to really hit it where it matters when they have all rifles. They don't want to delay that gun round.
Definitely don't. I mean, it's so... If it was like the rounds a while ago, it made sense. But this time, since it's still neck and neck, technically, there's no real need to go that risky when you have a chance to build the lead ever so slowly, but very consistently. Explosion here from Abaddon Abyss, though, will be through onto Art. He gets stopped by the smoke, so they're just trying to get closer and closer somewhere else. Maybe a CQC here. If Mojo finds contact to the left of him, he can just always nade. That's the beauty of his positioning, and I don't know if anybody's going to be able to clear him out. That's the question.
Well, they're probably going to have to check this anyway. Mojo's going to be exposed. He's going to sizzle a little bit, but instead of relegating himself to a swing, he tries to survive as long as he can. So that gives Exotic 2, and that's going to make him very close to getting that run it back. As Wits, with the Bulldog, has a pretty ferocious bite. However, he does miss the jugular with that swing. Exotic and Rababs, they double up. They still have classics. Rababs has a Bulldog that he's picked up. They're trying to goad Wits into over-peaking here. But Rababs is really trying to burn out the time. But where did Papi Chulo come from? As the rest of NAOS, they played that retake perfectly. And then again, it was an eco. So 6 to 8, looking pretty decent. But still, man, you see the movement, right? I appreciate it a lot. I love the patience. They know that they're not willing to risk the gun advantage, so they just go for the more patient and mature approach.
Somewhere out there, make the clip, put on Mario jumping sounds, and we're good.
Wow.
Why not?
Wow.
Right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Placing swarm grenade. Placing swarm grenade.
All right. That was just again, and you're absolutely right on that last play as well. The Wits just baiting for attention, because even if they don't really, they're gonna fall to Wits. But because he played it so incredibly well on the Jiggle Pete bait play, however you want to, describe it, it's Abaddon Abyss that took the bigger end of the elf stick there.
And that they have walk softly but carry a big stick, is what they say. And Papi, wow, he jiggle peeks. He's like, yeah, I don't want none of that. Do they have a flash for this? No. Wits is all the way playing spawn here. Papi Chulo, though, could actually find a bunch of picks here. He dodges that flash perfectly, but it's enough time for Exotic to get him anyway. NDG has a trade. Even things slide them down. That's a very forward stance, Astra. You would think that it would be Wits playing support in that very situation, considering he has the flashes and whatnot. But again, just the small things, the finer details of the game. Wits is still alive, though. He's in dugout. I don't think they know that they're there. V-Black's doing a convincing job of stopping his flank. As Ja, one of the more lethal Sheriff players in the game, does get cut down. The Phantom's just too much to handle. And Wits, he finally gets brought out of his hole into the sunlight. Abaddon Abyss. They catch up just a little bit, 7 to 8.
A bit too, I guess, adamant about that A main control. At least with the setup, it looked like it was going to be good, but Abaddon Abyss just played it perfectly inside the mess of things. Right, and they were able to just bring it all the way back. It's absolutely perfect. And then the flank was spotted. That's going to be perfect too. Unfortunately, the pick wasn't on Asta. So his utility gave away the double lurk. And now Exotic, he's just going to pull the trigger. Just all straight shot onto the A site. Utility's there. They really want to fight this. Does he know he's boosted right back up? No! He only got the pick onto the run it back, so it's still going to be a 5 versus 4 as the round keeps continuing.
And with Poppy off the board, once again, a lot of zoning is going to be sorely missing on the side of NAOS. They do have Mojo here on a big flag, but he is going to let the world know that him and NDG are ready to party. As Exotic again! Oh my goodness. They brick wall, they stonewall NAOS from the site. An eviction notice, apparently. NAOS, do they have enough to buy? No, they don't, Astra. Very, very reserved buy here.
I was going to say, this is why you want, again, Exotic on a duelist. The way that he spearheads Abaddon Abyss is just on a whole different level. Right? Like, just absolutely wild how they're able to set up off. And it feels like Abaddon Abyss are feeding off of his momentum so well, too. The way that they're able to follow up, the way that they're able to make the plays such as this is so different from what we saw from Fracture.
Very different indeed, and I love it. I like the look, Astra. It is a far cry, though, from what they would want to achieve in that very, very specific situation. They do get one member got cut down. It's V-Black again, Astra. You know, it really is strange to me that V-Black does take the brunt of that initial hit, especially on defense when Astra utility is so vital. They don't even have a second controller, so they are gonna go in guns blazing towards B long also. So they know that they have a stronger buy. They can pretty much strong arm this, but you have to be careful. You still have a lot of utility available too. A Viper Spit if Papi wants to really expend that here. But a stack is waiting beyond the fire, beyond the poison, beyond the nightmares. As Papi Chulo, right on cue, gets one, but Rababs is still alive. He's trying to get that res up to get the numbers advantage. And suddenly it's a disaster. Asta still has long-range supremacy here. NDG is the only one who's picked up a Vandal here. Trying to use his teammates as bait. Wits is just going to confirm where Asta is. Ja might get a bit of a haircut here, but he checks for NDG first. He takes care of the big gun. But the numbers, what do they mean? A 2 versus 1. NAOS, they refuse to let go of the lead, Astra. They just outright deny Abaddon of a chance in that round.
Okay, let's look away from the thrifty round of NAOS. They're not having the proper weapons and such. The setup was so different from everything else that they've done because of the fact that they've just, you know, burnt out the utilities of Abaddon Abyss compared to the other rounds that Abaddon Abyss have kind of fought, right? Because whenever you see, I think that was Poppy and NDG play together when they try to counter out Exotic and the rest of Abaddon, it's almost always been through both of your utilities still active, right?
Yeah.
So them drying it up and having more utilities throw the shuffle, it works so well for them even more so because now NAOS have a lot more options. They have a lot more angles. Of course, it's not going to happen every single round, but you do see the efficacy, the effectiveness of the philosophy of that kind of approach.
What else are we going to see from them, as this is pretty much even Stevens when it comes to the ultimate? Mojo's probably going to be the first one to pop his. Should I go with Abaddon to once again overplay their hand here? Try to take some space towards Art, but wow, what a flash here by Wit. Can't really confirm how many though, so on the back of NAOS's minds, maybe this is just a lurk threat, and NDG, he backs away. Still has that wall available. Look at this, sorry, the ultimate game is gonna get dumped. Every single thing is going to be used here. They can't find the space, and if they can't find the rhythm that they want to hit, then this is all for naught. As NDG and Mojo beautifully set up Papi Chulo here. They still have the spike down, so a post plant nonetheless. Latham is playing with fire. He's very, very close. Can't necessarily confirm, but oh my goodness, he sidesteps NDG, and Papi Chulo has a shorty. And I didn't expect him to have a shorty in that type of situation, but here we are, man. 8 to 10 now. They look to make circles around Abaddon again. The adjustments.
I mean, okay, the short is, I think it makes sense if you're the Viper, right?
Hit, whatever, yeah.
It's much more effective than the classic, I'd say, inside the pit. So that was just, you know, really good coincidence. But my gosh, dude. I mean, the push from Abaddon Abyss was already there, but unfortunately, like, NAOS had everything to answer back, especially Witz's Seekers. Because you saw he was already in trouble. Fortunately, Exotic got nearsighted by the Seekers and could not finish off Wits, which gave them still the pinch, which put Abaddon Abyss in a position where they're on the site, they haven't gotten any picks, and they're starting to lose map control. They're starting to lose the edge on the site itself because their ultimates, their utilities were starting to fizzle out. So with that, well, Abaddon Abyss feeling the struggle once again, back to the timeout.
Is this the stamina issue that we were bringing up so often?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, like I said, right, Abaddon, they have their stretches of excellence and pretty much brilliance, right? We saw that early on. But maybe just this additional layer that NAOS is showing yet again is putting them in a bit of a doldrum. Not really a lot of wind in their sails, at least on the side of Abaddon.
That one is what I was going to mention as well. It doesn't feel like Abaddon Abyss are losing steam. It's more of just NAOS understanding how to deal with the Abaddon approach. Well, we'll see how this approach is going to be. Ooh. You never want to at least give away a sliver of just, you know, your body to Exotic. He will just take you out, ruin you.
Ruin indeed. As a grand plan could be in the making for Abaddon here, but maybe just the tools that they have, actually not enough. They go for the flash here, which does get some damage towards Exotic, but him being the Phoenix, he's not gonna have a problem restoring himself. As Wits, you know, honestly, this map has been in general fairly slow. Like in the grand scheme of things, all their Pearl games have been pretty slow. And it just makes sense the way the map is laid out. But now it seems that they go for a position switch here. Now they have... Yeah, not this time indeed. They thought that maybe... Was it NDG who was there? Or rather, Mojo who was there. I do get confused between those two, especially the duelist roles. But nonetheless, a little bit of clarity as they go into the site here. Exotic, the lone rifle, leading the charge. The sharpest point. Gets a trade onto Ja. Hits him with a wide swing. But Asta falls. The number of bodies to be used in these fights are only going down on the side of Abaddon. And Rabab's looking to be a little cheeky here. Mojo and the rest of the gang, they position themselves. They want to go for a clean take. Rabab's wall has disappeared. Crucial whiff on the side of V-Black here. And that is going to push NAOS over the double-digit line. 11 to 8.
2 more to go. Oh, Abaddon Abyss at least should have their weapons back up, and Exotic will have the run it back as well. That's going to be huge for them. Exotic is able to make those plays alongside that. But, man, you know when you play like a regular match of Valorant, people will say, you have to hold that angle, you can't just give it for free. NAOS are going the exact opposite,
Kinda
where
have
they're
to
giving
sometimes.
where they're giving
Yeah.
it solely for free, but they know exactly what the cause and effect of that would be. That's what it feels like watching this, this entire series has been against Abaddon Abyss.
What's that? Pro players have a great understanding of the game? No way. No way.
Space?
Space? Projected value? Wow. I thought all they did was run around and aim. But again, jokes aside, guys, yeah, absolutely, that's right. They, once again, to my original point, the protocol behind NAOS's operations have been so refined already. And that's in a, 3-week span? 4-week span now? So their evolution is going crazy. Exotic, not entirely sure what they want to do here. They have all the control towards mid and all the rotating positions, but not necessarily threatening any of the main sites. We still see Mojer just jump around to go for backside though. We have the wall up, and that's gonna pull the attention away from at least one of them. Oh, Exotic, he dodges everything. But that could be a fairly undervalued use of that ult Asar. Yes, they do get the info, but they don't get the space that they want. Oh, Rababzo with the wall. Wits is gonna get blocked down, and Exotic gets 2 for himself. A bargain as Asta sees all the trades happening. He wants to be part of the market. He wants to be part of the barter. And now Slatham tries to play this slipper as he can. And he lands a fine shot. No time. He can't even plant this. No way in hell Ja's gonna peek this. No way in hell Ja's gonna peek this. And he will be forced to fight at Slatham! How do you land that? What?
There.
Huh?
Yo! Well, like I mentioned, man, this is the power of Abaddon Abyss. You come into their field of power, their zone of control, their shooting range, as it were. They will tear you to pieces. Rip and tear, as it were. Exotic and Slatham, man. Basically, the whole of Abaddon Abyss. Great efforts. We're wondering why they wanted to push through B that much. Well, it feels like that's the most comfortable place they've just played through 2 to 3 rounds here, even though they might have failed some of them. Still works, although Exotic might open Pandora's box here, but it doesn't matter because he still hits the shot. There's going to be a Rababs for the ultimate, for the res, and now Esports slowly crumbling away as we are left into the 3 versus 5.
Now, definitely in a bit of a rut now, Asrai. A fortune change. That's just the variance of Valorant, and well, pretty much everybody landing their shots here. And I understand why they would want to prioritize B over 8. It is a lot of long-range fights. Even when you're entering the side, there's still some very, very awkward angles that Abaddon can definitely abuse here. As Naos a little more tired from all that wear and tear in the early exchanges. They don't have NDG. And they don't have Mojer. Now Exotic's gonna try and barrel through this. Oh, I like the patience. Ja, an absolute wizard. They don't check backside. And he might just get the timing here. The slow orb is perfect. Wits is gonna blind everybody! And he only gets 1. Oh my goodness, can't confirm the kill here. They're running and gunning, but Papi Chulo's also available for this. But Asta. Whew. Abaddon. The brawl is always going to be in their favor. Remember what I said on Fracture. Abaddon was losing because they could not plant their feet and swing together. But once you let them get into that system, you are asking for trouble. You are walking into the inferno.
Abaddon Abyss feeling like they're the Brawl Stars, you know? After this series, win or lose, these guys have gotten a ticket to what we call the heaven of brawlers, Brawlhalla.
And here we have the would-be Vikings, the would-be Raiders, and Ja. And they have been so proficient with these thrifties, those Aserai. They've really yo-yoed the competition into a false sense of security that yes, they have the proper weapons, but now they're always on their... They're always scheming something. But maybe, just maybe 5 Vandals could prove to be enough to dissuade Ja from holding onto this site and just really around security here on the side of Abaddon. They get the lockdown in place. There's a small gap. An Exotic, he will thread the needle and find Ja here. No problem whatsoever. And I would say, and I would wager that this eco is pretty much done. V-Black having a grand old time, at least with that first kill. Mojer, stepping that nade. What else can they do? Apparently not too much. I can't actually believe they expended Nightfall for that Asterai. Those could have been big ults in the coming rounds, but security, insurance is probably what Abaddon's thinking about. Nope, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that at all.
I also have to ask, was that the second round in a row? Like 2 rounds in a row that Exotic had his ultimate up, and now he's just
He's two
charges
away.
away. Yeah, again, for another one. And I have to keep pointing this out because it has been a huge pivot point, I think, for Abaddon Abyss. Once they can always threaten that run it back with someone who can really find those picks or create that space, they push NAOS into positions where they can't really make use of the utility because of the fact as well that they're so stationary to where they are. You saw Ja there. He had a very good opportunity to get picks. Unfortunately, was just flushed out. He didn't have anything to dash away, to TP away from. And
It's an eco, you know.
yeah, but also the lack of ability, I think, is just also ruining them. They have to either get good trades or find positions where they're going to be hunkered down. But if not, Abaddon Abyss is just going to, feels like just going to flush them out.
Man, I feel like that Nightfall was a little overkill on the side of Slatham here. Just a little too antsy. Yes, the adrenaline is pumping, but just gotta be careful, my guy. Abaddon Abyss.
Sure enough.
They're slowly catching up, trying to reach for the skies here as now. The protective layering looking to be peeled away here. And 2 people on the aggro here. I don't think Mojer has used this spot just yet. So this could be the gamble that really gives them enough of headroom to really move around the map here. Ja is gonna pull attention per usual. Does V-Black check? Does V-Black check? Does V-Black win the fight? No is the answer. Mojer's here. He does have ultimate. So he could use this as a getaway from jail for free. Oh! He still gets it. Post-mortem yet again. Slatham pushing up here. Now it's a 2v5 Asterai. Exotic does have that ultimate very close. So if he can manage to get 2, and effectively it's a very advantageous position on the side of Abaddon. Right now they're being very careful. Look how fine the movements are for NAOS. They have to decide now though if they want to sprint back towards A, especially when Asta... What? Okay.
Calm yourself, Wits.
But look at this. Look at this by Papi Chulo.
Enemy remaining.
What a cerebral assassin. That's 1. 30 seconds. Oh, he's going to be blind for days. He nearly actually gets Exotic, but Exotic's going to be running. If he double backs, that's going to be a Giga Brain play. But NAOS look like they are going to be isolating themselves just for a moment here. I actually think NDG is going to have perfect timing for this if he really wants to push it. But it does look like Exotic is going to go for a fairly open plant. The gravity well is not going to let him escape. And into the darkness, Abaddon go. But not the one that they're comfy with.
NAOS went for the least expected play for Abaddon Abyss. Right up until this point, NAOS have been playing so far back. They've been playing angles where you really shouldn't expect it to, but now Abaddon Abyss expects it. They're like, yeah, just play in the most risky corners ever because we know that you can perform. And Mojer, boy does he, with that too. And even Papachula with this long lurk on spawn is able to go through all of that. I think what happened when he pushed up through mid, basically bypassed the turret, or the turret deactivated and he still pushed through A main, and then he just waited so he wouldn't activate the alarm bot that was hiding outside of B. So whatever happens, I mean, this is it. Do or die for Abaddon Abyss.
The finer details, but this time Abaddon's a little better equipped. An armory that is pretty healthy. Once again, they do have that run it back on the side of Exotic, but they have to be a little more cautious in the way that they would want to use it. Like I said, man, if they had Nightfall there, then maybe the story would have been different. But that is well behind them now. This Nightfall's not going to be available for regulation anymore. As Mojer, so very excited to use his, I believe he has, no more ultimate. So his utility to just block off B-Link here. NDG does have that Cosmic Divide, an ability that we haven't really seen too much this game, maybe just once or twice, but Exotic, they go for the same play. Now they try to barrel through A. They get that flash going, but once again, perfect timing here. Rababs gets NDG, but Papi Chulo, a total anchor. He even anticipates the flank perfectly. And the 3K for him. 2 more to complete the circuit, but Exotic, does he have something to say? He will be silenced, as Wits will not hear that nonsense. And now they are looking to fly high. Asarai, Asta, he has to run, but look at all these players. They're gonna circle him, and he's gonna sacrifice him to the gods. As now a convincing 2-0. Very dicey though in that second map, but a 2-0 nonetheless.
The mosh pit. Yo, that was massive from Papi Chulo. A definite iPapi moment for him as he picks up 2 on the A site. He was aware that there could have been a long lurk for Vanta Black. Unfortunately, the lurk from Vanta Black was, well, just not well timed with Abaddon, because I think of the fact that he had to wait because Papi was so laser focused on holding that angle. That being said, though, great defensive maneuver as we continue these games. I will say, man, that it has pulled my hair out of my hair because of just how intense it was. But absolutely incredible performance, not only honestly from NAOS, but Abaddon Abyss. We really do see what Abaddon Abyss can bring to the table. Unfortunately, NAOS just had so many answers to how they were starting to snowball that particular series. You know what? It's still not over for them. I feel like they still have a bit more left in the tank.
I mean, we always talk about Abaddon being an incredibly young team. They have a very bright future ahead of them, and I really do hope they stay as the core because they are looking so good, especially in that second map, right? They do have obvious issues that they have to work on, but just the raw potential and the way that they can push their ceiling, something that excites me. But on the side of NAOS, they don't want to deal with that ass, right? No hopes, no dreams.
Mention, that Abaddon Abyss now are neck and neck at bottom with Puggers. They're 1-4 in the series. Sky Empire, who is slightly above them, is 1-3. So a lot of the success right now of Abaddon Abyss, at least from keeping afloat in the top 6, would rely on them having good performance in the next series that they're going to be playing, as well as Puggers and Sky Empire not doing so well on their own end.
Which is not a good look for our OQ teams, honestly. But then again, the official circuit is an entirely different Shark Tank, right? I feel like despite the amazing performances from all the teams that you mentioned, Asarai, once you reach for the top, you will get burned. It is searing hot up there. And we just saw that today in full action, a microcosm of that sentiment. And I feel like there's so many things that we could probably highlight if we go through this VOD much more thoroughly. But again, some of these wins on the side of NAOS have been off the back of Papi Chulo, man. He has so many multi-kills. Ja as well. Experience really triumphing over the, let's say, a little more excited young guns, right? There you go. Death by 1,000 cuts.
So with that, the one that delivered the final cut, delivering the win with Grab Unlimited, is NAOS' Mojer, an absolutely beast of a player in this entire series as well. You mentioned how just confident he is, in the double satchel plays, and just the double satchels in general. We saw that in Fracture, we see it here on Pearl, and hope we keep seeing that in the matches that NAOS plays in the regular season.
And that we are going to be looking forward to. And we honestly thought that, the newer, again, there's two clashing philosophies. We have our two young stars, and we have the very experienced core, and maybe they're gonna clash. You know what I mean? They're gonna clash. But that's okay. They're really gluing well. I love that they're they found some sort of, would the word be compromise, Asarai, or just a fair middle ground? I think that's what compromise means anyway. But with that being said, what else can NAOS do to develop further? Do you think they have a lacking area in their strat book? Because they seem to adjust very, very well, especially in these mid-round situations, especially when you want to drag out the game. What's going on? We have a visitor here, very, very excited to see me for some reason.
Well, I wonder if we're gonna be able to see that, comparing it to the other possible opponents that NAOS will have to face in the future here. Because if I'm just gonna draw it out, just check out the other opponents that they have. Hang on, they only really have GameLab Alpha and Puggers to go against. So no rematches for Oasis, no rematches with Action PH up until the playoffs. So with that, I feel like NAOS don't really have any true credible threats in this regular season. Anyways, we're gonna throw it to the panel to break it down even further.
Ayan na nga, guys. Na Ray curse denied tayo dito. And here at the panel, you still have a likable, Fluffy, and of course, Riku. And we just saw how NAOS, as we expected, talagang they came out on top. But Fluffy, alam ko, di ba, kanina ang ganda ng prediction mo kanina. Are you a little bit worried na right now at the top, medyo, in heat na naman sila dito ng Oasis Gaming?
I mean, worried, not really, because I think that all the teams have to shoot their best shot, and it's a nice thing to see the improvement coming up from NAOS Esports. And I feel like the overall goal is to win Ascension, so playing against better teams will be good for both teams.
It really will be kasi napuprove na challenging talaga ang mga Filipino teams natin. But as we're looking at the highlights over here, Riku, naaalala ko, sabi mo kanina, if Abaddon Abyss does not get map number 1, edi aabot tayo ng map number 2. Bakit naman, map number 3 rather, bakit naman dito pa tayo sa Pearl nagkaroon ng very close game between the two?
I think it goes all the way back to what Fluffy said. There's a lot of data when it comes to the Pearl map, when it comes to NAOS' performance on Pearl. Kasi nga, they're one of the best teams in the tournament that performed really, really amazingly well in this map. So it is, Abaddon picking that map earlier in, the map pick. That means they were confident. That means they did their research. And that is exactly why that map became so, so close. It was so, so sweaty. I thought we legit were about to reach map 3. And I feel like the highlight there, I have to mention, of course, Asta on the side of Abaddon Abyss, but at the end of the day, NAOS is able to basically keep their focus, keep their ground, and not worry that, okay, Abaddon is winning the first few minutes, first few rounds of this map, even though this is our best map. So at that point, props to Abaddon Abyss for trying, but at the same time, props to NAOS for keeping everything still stabilized.
Yeah, I have to agree with Rico there. I think mad respect for Abaddon Abyss. Going for that Pearl pick, it's very bold because it is, again, one of NAOS' preferred maps. But I think that, Pearl went good for both teams. It went 13-11 at the end of everything. And that is a better score than most of teams have been able to do. And they've done that damage that they have into NAOS. And they really brought that confidence from probably all that research that Rico mentioned to the game.
Ganun na ngayon lumalabas dito eh. Well done on the side of Abaddon Abyss. Medyo nag-fall short kayo, but to even have this firepower, kind of be close up against a team like NAOS Esports, well done. Pero the highlighted player that we have over here is, of course, Mojer. Fluffy. Insane talaga tong taong to. Ilang beses na natin siyang nakita na MVP dito for very good reason. Pero nakita talaga natin dito in the 2 maps that we've seen this guy, sobrang explosive niya talaga.
Explosive is the best word you can use because he's playing that explosive agent. He played Raze twice this entire series, especially on the Fracture map. You can see the combination of skill as well as brains that he has because he has top frag. He got 22 kills on Fracture. He got 19 kills on Pearl. But on the Fracture map, you can even see him sometimes he'd use his satchels to break the Cypher traps when they pushed up on B main, for example. So it's a lot of utility that you'd use Raze for and really maximize the explosive firepower that Agent can really provide.
Yeah, Mojer is so reliable, especially on this Raze. You can count on him to make space. You can count on him to win the gunfights. You can count on him to win duels. And I feel like that's the reason why, sinabi mo to, lagi siyang most of the time, MVP whenever NAOS wins these matches.
Oh, ganun talaga. And let's not forget na hindi rin naman makaka-clear ng so much space si Mojer without the help of his teammates. Ilang beses natin nakita na sobrang sulit yung utility kit dito ni Wits as the Sky. Ilang beses din natin nakita na even if nakalurk tong si Papi Chulo, talagang nakakaubos pa rin siya ng mga players dito. Nag-split po sila kayo na 4-1, mag-isa si Papi Chulo. How many did he get? Like 3 to 4 people at the same time. So it's not just the Mojer show, of course, pero as a whole, NAOS Esports just really looking promising as a team overall. Pero excited na ako kasi parang even though 2 weeks to go na lang, talagang telltale yung mga nangyayaring labanan at this point. Kasi nga, dito na natin magkakaroon na tayo ng idea kumbaga kung sino yung mga teams na makakapasok nga ba sa playoffs. So, ingat-ingat na lang talaga for the future matches that are upcoming, especially on the side of Abaddon Abyss, since parang iilang teams na lang yung makakaharap nila at this point, and they really need to garner those points in. Anyway, eto na, tingnan natin kung ano nga ba yung current standing so that we can paint a full picture of what the scoreboard is like. So yun nga sinabi ko kanina, 'di ba? Yung NAOS Esports at the top right now, pero Oasis Gaming still has a pending matchup para magpantay sila, 'di ba? But Riku, what are your thoughts right now looking at again the bottom 3 here? Kasi risky na talaga tong mga to eh.
I think for me, it's super tight, right? When we look at the top 2 teams, Oasis and NAOS, they're equal. There's not a lot of spread when it comes to points. So right now, Abaddon, Sky Empire, and PUGGERS are in a bit of a tough situation, considering the fact that they need to be out of the bottom 2 to proceed to the playoffs. So the last 2 weeks of the competition is going to be incredibly important. Basically, both of these three of these teams have to win every single match. And the thing is, their fate isn't in their hands solely alone this time around. They have to rely on the results of other teams, if they want to go through the next round.
Yeah, I think moving on to the middle of our VCT, a lot of factors are going to be a bit more prominent. You're all going to consider not only the map wins, but also the rounds and all the other differentials that might separate you from a 4th position placing to a 6th. And although Riku has already talked about the bottom 3 teams, has a huge impact on the standings. It really shows that Oasis now has to basically have the pressure on to carry on their momentum, because if they don't win their next game, they're going to be tied with NAOS Esports. And for the 3rd and 4th place, it's also a close run, especially for SR Nacague, which I think is a very capable team. But with those 2 losses, if they will kind of rely on that domino effect from other teams to see where they'll place.
Yun nga maganda yung sinabi mo, Fluffy, na especially on the side of Oasis Gaming, na they really need to win their matches, which brings me to the next set of matches that we do have for the following day. I believe Oasis Gaming is gonna be up against G-Lab first and foremost. How confident are you for your team going into this matchup?
So far so good. I mean, the stats don't lie. They've had a perfect run so far. Hopefully it stays that way. But Glab is a team that really has a lot of firepower. But aside from that, I think they're kind of underrated in the way that they default. Even if you compare them to a more experienced team like Sky Empire, which will be playing on the 2nd game against APH, they have shown that they have the ability to supersede them, at least in their current standings, with all the teams considered.
Yeah, the tomorrow's matches are going to be incredibly exciting, considering the fact that, again, a lot of these teams will be hungry for points. And of course, it's Oasis is currently tied with NAOS, so it's one of those things where, okay, it's not the playoffs, but we do want to end on a very, very strong note. So they do want to win against Game Lab. And as for Sky and Action PH, Sky Empire definitely has been struggling in this tournament, but at the same time, this is one of the matches where, in comparison to going up against Oasis and NAOS, I suppose this is one of the air quote doable matches for them. So I'm excited to see them to perform tomorrow.
Excited na rin ako dyan. I mean, going back to our earlier discussion, di ba, hinihintay natin na may maglabas ng split or ng Lotus map. And I do believe na Sky Empire yung team na maglalabas ng split dito. Because if we do go back to the records, I remember Kelly S being such a phenomenal player, especially pagdating dito sa split. So hopefully, fingers crossed, makita ko na yung mapa na yan by tomorrow. I'm sure my co-panelists over here are also thinking of the same thing. Gusto na namin makita yung mga ilang mapa na yan. I mean, for the longest time, iniwasan na rin naman ng mga players dito yung Bind and yung Breeze. So might as well ilabas na rin agad nila tong ibang mapa. Anyway, all of this, of course, hindi naman mangyayari if it weren't for the help of our sponsors. So before we close the show, we would like to formally thank Riot Games as well as Nacague Philippines for making this event possible for all.
We would also like to say thank you to our official sponsor, Grab Unlimited. Celebrate great wins and great food and enjoy free delivery every day. Subscribe to Grab Unlimited now for only 9 pesos for your first month.
And of course, last but not the least, this tournament is officially sanctioned by the Games and Amusement Boards.
Thank you so much to our sponsors and of course, maraming salamat din sa lahat ng nanood. Kita-kita ulit tayo dito sa VALORANT Challengers Philippines. This has been Likeable, Fluffy02, and Riku on the panel. Bye!
We're soaring up high, got no clue. How do I know what I mean to you? Yeah. Say it out loud, spill the truth. Tell me how I'm gonna get close to you. Yeah. High and low in between. Relax.